Hold on 1 second, guys, for the X space. Let's see. All right. If X does not load, which it looks like it might not because I got your message, we could do speakerphone.
We could. Yeah, it's. I think it's the app is being weird for me right now. I tried Wi-Fi and then just cell service. Is it loading for you, the app, or you have trouble too?
I'm trying to load the space and it keeps booting me out.
Yeah. Something's going on the back end there for sure. You want to just, hey, it's for the broadcast world. We gotta go crazy. We gotta get speakers on.
I mean, I could still do that because I upload it the same way that I always do. So whether or not this decides to work, we can still save the broadcast.
Okay. I'm fine with that if you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through the roster introductions and bring us in like we usually do, unless X starts to load for you, then we can switch fronts. But I'm still not loading in.
Yeah, let's just do it this way and see how it goes. You know, it's a new challenge, new season, new challenge. Why not?
Yeah, because it's going to work the same way, so we should be good here.
Okay.
All right. So let me just do the lineup introductions, and I'll bring you in like always.
Sounds good.
All right, because we're good on the YouTube side, so we're going to go through this. So, John, I'm here with you. I got Cooper Hopkins with me. The X space is not loading here for this Wednesday, October 8th, so we're going to do good old-fashioned speakerphone, and we should be good to go with that. So, for the Calgary Flames, head coach by Ryan Huska, Joel Farabee, Nazem Kadri, Adam Klapka, Matvei Gradin is going to draw in the lineup, the rookie, so that's going to be fun to watch. Morgan Frost, Matthew Coronato, Connor Zary, Michael Backlund, Blake Coleman on the third line, and with Lamborghini, Justin Kirkland, and Igor Sharangovich. For the Flames on D, it'll be Joel Hanley, MacKenzie Weegar, Kevin Ball, Rasmus Andersson, Jake Bean, and Braden Pahol. Dustin Wolf will be the goaltender of record. And for the Edmonton Oilers, their newly minted coach again, it just re-upped, and Chris Knobloch. It's Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Trent Frederick, Andrew Mangiapane, former Flame. It's going to be interesting to see him in those colors. RNH with Matthew Savoie. Isaac Howard, the Michigan State man, moves from Tampa to Edmonton. Adam Henrique and David Tomasek. It'll be Vatsali Podkolzin, Noah Phillip, and Kasperi Kapanen running out your forwards. And for the defense, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, Alec Regula, and Brett Kulak, Ty Emberson, Stuart Skinner will be the goaltender of record. Cooper, it's finally time to do this again. The NHL season is upon us. I've been waiting for this. And we're going to Battle of the Alberta right out of the gate.
Yes, we are, my friend. It's our annual tradition, and I am thrilled to be here with you. And hey, no social media networks necessary. This is just two pals getting into some hockey in a new season here. So why not go for a new format, right? And speaking of new, we got a couple of new faces on the Edmonton Oilers. You're going to see Howard and Tomasek making their debuts, as well as Gradin, I believe is how you pronounce it, for the Flames, wearing number 92 tonight. Should be playing that left wing alongside Frosty. So there's something new here to be seen. And I've also got Dustin Wolf coming back and taking on Stuart Skinner. John, there's lots to love here. It's Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, I was going to say this too because we talked about it during the free agency frenzy and all that stuff. I was mentioning Zayne Parekh was going to be in the lineup. He's a healthy scratch, not playing today, but he did officially make the roster.
Yeah, he certainly did. I think rightfully so. This is going to be something that, listen, John, we've covered Flames for a lot of years now. We've been talking about the youth development in Calgary. Now, listen, they just missed the playoffs last year with a mix of veterans and some youth, but I do think that Craig Conroy and the folks making decisions there in Cowtown are leaning a little toward the younger side as best they can because they've got to develop some of those players that have been coming up through their system, and at the top of that list is Parekh. We will see him probably sooner than later for Calgary.
I think the prospect pool, and you would know better than I, Cooper, but we do a lot of these games, is pretty good for the Flames. And I saw a lot of open season polls, regardless of the Flames just missing the playoffs last year against the Blues, say that they're going to bottom out and they're going to be in the sweepstakes for Gavin McKenna. But when you got Dustin Wolf in between the pipes, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he's certainly going to have something to say about that. And I do think, John, you and I have talked about this off mic, just as pals.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the Flames potentially having a season that may mirror what they had last year. I think that we're going to see some of those Western Conference teams that were the bubble teams. I mean, we're talking about a razor's thin margin between the Blues making it in favor of the Flames last year, or ahead of the Flames, I should say. Could flip this year. You also have the upstart Utah Mammoth. Right, I don't think that you'll see teams like the Kraken and the Ducks really make the full push back to the playoffs, but we may start to see some more mix-ups from those teams that have been the basement dwellers for the past few years.
I think we will. We're also going to have a lot to talk about through the intermission, not just with ourselves, not just with hockey, but all the other moves that were made in some of the other sports. So this should be a really good broadcast. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. You're seeing it now on your screen with Dustin Wolf and Stuart Skinner on the other end. Man, if it wasn't for Lane Hudson, you'd be talking about Dustin Wolf or the Calder. Those are some excellent numbers.
Yep, you are right, my friend. And boy, is it exciting here just to see a fresh sheet of ice and see these classic uniforms. They're going. I know the Oilers have an alternate. We can talk about whether or not we like the Edmonton Oilers alternate during one of the intermissions, but they're going with their classics tonight. And even though they're a rival, they are beautiful sweaters, and Flames got those classic whites on as well. So just the eye test is looking good, my friend.
Do you want me to lead off? I'll give you the second, and then I'll have you close it.
If you don't mind, I think it might just be me. I'm always good for one technical issue. I'm just having a little Wi-Fi hiccup. The phone's great here, but if you can, why don't you take the puck drop and then we'll switch off as we go.
Got you here. Again, I was able to get some of the rust yesterday in between the Tigers and Mariners game off, but now it'll be the first hockey game officially of the season for me and Cooper as well. So if I mess up a couple times, please forgive me. I'm still working in back of the flow. I also got some major headlines to discuss during the intermission. There's been some life updates, so it should be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to just catch up on the personal level as well. Might as well. I know we have all these adoring fans, John. Might as well dive in a little bit, nice, right? A little authenticity on the broadcast. Let's hear about what's going on in life. So I am personally very excited to hear it, and I'm excited for this contest. We're about to get started. Battle of Alberta to kick off a new NHL season.
Yeah, I'm excited for both of us here. So it was a tie-up. This one was won by McDavid, and Edmonton able to throw this one down in the zone. Bounces off the boards off Zary's skate as we picked up by Blake Coleman and chopped out of the air. Will be propelled aside by Dustin Wolf. Good forecheck here for Chris Knobloch's squad early as they try to throw it out in front. Draisaitl with a blind back pass, and that went through the middle of the slot. Now back to Evan Bouchard. He was one of those guys that got newly minted with another contract. Too far for McDavid. And Ekholm will slow it down. Ekholm just got a 3-year deal. That's 4 years and 3 years and $12 million. As this goes back around now for MacKenzie, Weegar, and around the pipe and picked up now the other way, right to left go the Flames and the Road Whites. Again, they're going to be playing the back-to-back. They're in Vancouver tomorrow before they get a chance to go back in front of their home fans for the Saddle Dome for a couple more seasons. Cooper and I are going to be there next year. It's picked up now by Noah Phillip as this one's put in off the embankment now for Ball. He gets around a reverse hit Now toward the left side red line as this puck goes wide. Good cycle around the end boards here. Edmonton not able to throw anything on net yet, but they're trying to hem the Flames into their own end. Ekholm, he was off the pinch as this goes back and alongside for Andersson. Crisscross. There was a screen in front, but Sally Pot Coulson takes a hit. Put it in behind the end boards. Andersson. And off the spin, Kadri finishes his hit against Fitzgerald. And now Rasmus Andersson does the same, but he coughs it up near the left side red line. He loops in behind the net. Here's a pass out in front. This hopped over the stick of Pot Coulson. And now the Flames will try to get it out as Nazem Kadri. He's near the bench. Everybody's just going to go ahead and take their changes. Now look, Regula will gain the red line and throw it in. Now Dustin Wolf send it back around for Jake Bean. Bean's going to need some help, and this will be hand grenaded. Back and across the race for the puck. He'll be slowed away by Skinner. He'll play it with the stick. Sent back around to the Edmonton defense toward the left side dot. Flames trying to get in a forecheck now as this is off the stick lift. Coronato was on the watch, and this will go back to the defense. Picked up now off the backhand. Edmonton try to gain the zone, try to make a play off the knee was RNH. And this will go back and alongside Bean. Gradine now watching him. First chance for him to touch the vulcanized rubber, number 92. That's a good move. It takes a short side wrist shot. This one stopped off by the stick of Skinner. That gave me some Connor Zary vibes. Gonna like that one as the Flames get the first shot of the game. This goes back now for Evan Bouchard. Bouchard now will survey. He's taking that elongated timeout behind the net like Victor Hedman would do. This goes back to Dustin Wolf, no icing. Oh, miscommunication behind his net. See what happens here for the Flames. Joel Hanley shares Cooper's middle name as this sends back around now for MacKenzie Weegar. And off the glass, as this will be recollected across the red line and then chipped in. And then Henrique. And off the spin, good follow up there for Edmonton as Henrique now gets back to the full side body, picks it up. MacKenzie Weegar. And out of the air for Hanley as the Flames just try to get this one back to center ice. And Henrique will set this up one more time. We'll get off the ice. And we'll set for a new line of forwards here for Chris Knobloch's squad. Just one shot on goal here. 16:30 thereabouts left in the first shot with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. This one will be sent in off the stick shaft of Dustin Wolf. And picked up the other way. A lot of floating passes right now to try to gain entry. Coleman did stay on side. You got Mikael Backlund with him as he gets it away from Andersson. Here's a chance in front of the point. Rasmus had it bounce off his skate. And now Kevin Ball will take the entry, try to send this one back and behind the net. That was Backlund that threw it out. Here's a chance just wide of the right side post. And now Ball steps up, gets the steal, try to leave it back for Backlund. He lost it. No matter, though. It's the former Tampa Bay Lightning man, Blake Coleman. He gets hit to make a play, and Backlund finishes his as well. In the left side red line, that's where it is. As Kulak's trying to get it out. He's just bracing for a couple of cross checks. And now Connor McDavid. He's got it. It's got half speed right now. Drop for Leon. They're on the same line to start this game. Picked up now toward the right side and will leave off for Connor. Connor now, number 97. No pirouette. Goes back to the left side blue line. Here's a pass wide for Draisaitl near the right dot. Centered out in front for McDavid. And that one did not hold the line. That shot was null. We're going to stop at 15:25.
John, what a start to the season for you. Almost 5 uninterrupted minutes of play-by-play time for you, my friend. You've got the warm-up with the Detroit Mariners series that we haven't touched on, but we will. And you're already in mid-season form, my friend, when it comes to the NHL. But boy, oh boy, who else looks like he's in mid-season form? Brand new, Gradine. You made the call there. You said he looked a little bit like Zary. I like that confidence, taking it right through the offensive zone, going towards Skinner's crease, and had a great offensive chance. But back to you, my friend.
I do, and I appreciate your humble comments, my friend. I get a chance to hear your dulcet tones in the second. I'm just glad we get to do this again. This has been a tradition for us for about 3-4 years now. We've been able to take these openers, and I hope that's for a long time to come, my friend, for sure. As this one will be picked up now by the defense. Here is Bean, off for Nazem Kadri. Again, one of my favorite Flames. Here's a nice toe drag. Get this one in the zone. This was picked off Coronato for a moment. Now Bean, good work. The shot toward the red line side. And now opportunity here. Klapka makes a move, makes his man miss. Circles in behind the net now. Big body tries to throw it out in front, but he gives it right to the oil. Goes around the other way, as this will be a play through Noah Phillip. There's a couple different new names in here they have to get used to. as this is picked up for the left side because really just not used to not seeing Evander Kane on this team. This pod Colson. This will be knocked away from him. Joel Farabee, former Flyer. Kasperi Kapanen, this is touched, and now good reinforcements off the back check as it's Morgan Frost. Again, you'd like to see Farabee and Frost in their second. This will be a full season now with the Flames, but I think they're going to start to get their traction and get more production in that second season. That's what I believe, at least. As this is sticked away by Ball, it'll go out of play.
Little close-up that we got right there between two pals, and I do mean it. I don't mean it in an ironic way. You see Rasmus Andersson alongside Andrew Mangiapane, former teammates, just have a little chat there during the stoppage of play. And it's still so odd, John. Even though Mangiapane went over to the Capitals for a couple seasons, now to see him in an Oilers uniform still doesn't just sit right, but I'm glad he's still chatting with his old pals.
And you said it right during our last show. In the mix of you have Gaudreau and Tkachuk, and then you go from Ovi and the Caps, and now you got McDavid and Draisaitl. Mangiapane really knows how to pick it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. And boy, who else knows how to pick it is Dustin Wolf. He picks that puck right out of the air.
Oh, boy.
92-mile-per-hour shot, John. And already things are getting a little heated up here. Understandably, Battle of Alberta, now it feels like it's underway.
That was not an easy shot to handle there for Ty Emberson to get a beautiful replay there. It bounced off the right arm, and then he just snow cones that thing as we go to break.
Yeah, so Wolfie being challenged there, basically used the left bicep and then was able to find a fluttering puck out of midair, snatches it with the trapper. And Wolf, I think he's got a couple of saves now. I'm not sure if that first shot on goal was official because I think, John, you described that McDavid at the blue line several minutes ago had actually gone out of the zone. So that could be Wolf's first official save of the year. And if it is, it's a pretty memorable one.
So in between some of the updates that you've been giving me, I'll do this really quickly here, but between Jen as well, it's in the mix of Beavis and Butthead Season 3 and Chad Powers. I got to make sure I get the Hulu subscription up to date at some point because I want to check that stuff out. And then you give me a Washington Huskies football update, being the spotter. I'm going to try to get you in the play-by-play at some point, but checking some of those things out, I'm very excited for what you've shown me.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's right. My wife Jen is a writer here in Los Angeles, and yeah, she's got an episode of Beavis and Butthead, the rebooted version of the series, which is genuinely funny. If you're a fan of any of the old stuff, you'll love the new stuff too. It's very true to its origins. But that will come out later this month, closer to Halloween. I'll get you a date next time it's official. I'll probably have that date. But then also, yeah, Chad Powers, the third episode just came out yesterday. So the first three are available on Hulu or Disney Plus, and yeah, you'll see her name in the credits there. And she's currently working on season 2 with the rest of the writers, which is pretty exciting.
That is awesome, Cooper. We're going to get a lot of those updates, and I think we'll also probably spend the majority of the second intermission maybe not talking hockey as much. I know there's going to be a lot to do that we will get to, but I do want to spend some adequate time. Maybe we'll be both gritting our teeth, but with the Mariners and the Tigers, I think we have to talk about it.
100%, and we're getting back into action here, John. So let's hit that play-by-play, and I'll give you as much analysis as I can, even though you're the expert there.
Well, Gradine, we got some of his stuff from the Vegas Sphere. I really want to go just check something out at the Sphere, that's for sure. As this one is lofted back from Backlund and now sent back around. Ball tried to clear it. He broke his stick. This might be an on-man rush. This goes the other way, and this just missed the left side of the post. That was rotten luck for Ball, but the Flames escape it. Now Coleman will send this one to the left side. He gets his own chip and chase. Takes a big hit. Stays on his feet as Connor Zary was also looking. MacKenzie Weegar. Might he be a future captain of the Flames? That would be my selection after Backlund's days are done. As this will be sent back toward the left side red line, and Zary will throw it in for the Lamborghini. He will lurk. It'll be Edmonton. Get this one, but a two-line pass, you're able to do that nowadays. Here's Connor McDavid off a 1-on-4. Put it around the net. This bounces off the Flames skates. Always dangerous when number 97 has the puck. Igor Sharangovich trying to get around Matthias Ekholm. Will have to play it along his defense and then pass it right back. It's good pace to this game. Not a lot of shots, though. Just 2-2 aside. About 12:40 left to go on the first. John Underwood alongside Cooper Hopkins. As this will be toward the left side. Played it off the end wall now, and Ball will get a chance to start again. He got a new twig, as this will be sent back around for Farabee, but too far for Ekholm. Ekholm now, as Nazem Kadri tries to get a steal in behind the net, but Matthias somehow emerges with it. Ball finishes his hit. That was a pretty good play. And MacKenzie Weegar will use a back skate and pick it up now nicely. What a feed ahead. 3-on-2. Long shot. Gloved by Skinner. Good work there for the Flames. And a late push from that camera shot.
Oh, yes, John. Here we go. The temperature is rising. Klapka, after the play was whistled down, he and Ekholm taking offense to something there. Didn't go into any official fisticuffs, but you know what? That's what you want from the Battle of Alberta. You got to get things a little spicy. You got to get it early. Klapka right in there on Skinner. Ekholm trying to drive him out of the blue paint. And Klapka, big man. No doubt about that. He takes exception to that.
Yeah, that previous shot before there, that just gives me a chance to get some names locked in for Matthew Savoie. That wasn't off the rush, and then Klapka got involved. 14 goals, 26 points with the Calgary Wranglers, as Cooper said. He's a very big man. He's got ability to skate, got a good set of hands. And the Flames, no stranger, be able to throw the body when they need to. Kadri gets waved out of the circle. That will bring in said Klapka and to take the draw. Doesn't necessarily give me Zdeno Chara vibes, but he's someone like Milan Lucic just don't really want to mess with. As this is said the other way, I believe Lucic is going to get a contract with the St. Louis Blues, they're saying, in the next couple of weeks. As this one is dropped, this is not a good turnover. Kapanen with a back pass. Here's one more. Dustin Wolf doesn't have to make a play on it. As this goes to the left side blue line. That got sticked aside at the last moment. Klapka now will have it. Uses it off the end glass. And now an opportunity for Andersson. So he'll dump it in that same spot. Another big hit against the end boards now as the temperature, as Cooper mentioned, is starting to percolate as Klapka finishes his hit. He could have put Philip into his own bench. As this is sent the other way for Emerson off the bounce. He rifles the pass across. He was wide open to shoot a clapper. He didn't take it. As this will be flipped back down and brushed down. Emerson will use that long reach. Just 3 shots to 1 right now. Calgary's got that edge, but no goals just yet. 11:15 left to go in the first. Might I have a scoreless first? That wouldn't be impossible to think, but that got smacked in over the glass with an errant stick. Hopefully no penalties.
Yeah, referees come together. No whistles just yet. Looks like the Flames are okay here, and Oilers as well. But I almost watched the Flames give up the first goal. They were certainly not okay, John, when they turned the puck over in their own zone. But now we have a whistle, John, and Backlund talking to our head referee. Will there be a penalty here? Will I be proven wrong right away?
ESPN has it listed here, and we're getting a look. They got Morgan Frost.
Morgan Frost, puck over glass is going to be the call, and yes, but barely. I mean, we're talking about maybe 8 inches into the zone. The puck is fluttering over the blue line. It looks like Frost was, his body was about 1.5 feet into his own defensive zone. He knocks that puck out of play, so a little bit of a chintzy penalty there to start, but penalty all the same. First power play of the year coming up for the Oilers. Frost in the box.
How about that for Morgan Frost? The puck bounces off his shoulder, Cooper, and then it vaults to his stick, and he throws it over the glass.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck. I think he was just trying to chop that down the ice. It goes into the crowd, and that's why we had a power play situation. Oilers up a man.
So the Edmonton Oilers weren't exactly number 1 on their power play last year. They were still within the top 10, but this is still one of those dangerous units of all time. I thought I saw Tomasek out there maybe for the second line side. We'll see if that holds true as this is sent back down for the Flames. Their penalty kill is something that they want to improve. 76.1, that was 25th. The Red Wings were dead last on that side. So both of these teams that we know very well, they want to improve on that side. This was Tomasek as this goes back to Draisaitl. Try to get picked up by Bouchard and the Flames for the counterattack, which they're pretty good at on their own penalty kill, to be honest with you. Even if the numbers aren't great, they can score some shorthanded goals. That's what we knew last year. It's Bouchard. Now we'll start this one for 97. No problem for him getting inside the zone. Here's a drop into the right side, takes a hit. Draisaitl sends the pass across. It's tipped. Doesn't hit Wolf as this is toward the right side of the glass. McDavid will get it back off the give up. He surveys. Here's a great pass across. No chance for Wolf. Oilers score.
You could see it coming, John, and you started it by saying what was most accurate. No trouble getting into the zone for McDavid. He just puts everyone on their heels almost any time, and that's 5-on-5. We're talking man advantage here, and boy, Draisaitl deserves a little bit of credit. He gets into a right spot. McDavid controls in the corner. Draisaitl to Wolf's left, playing just 1, 2, 3 hockey right here. Draisaitl goes to RNH, and we got primary assists for 97, for 29, and then RNH with the first goal of the year for Edmonton.
Yeah, thank you for that on the side of the goal scorer. That's what I missed there. But that tic-tac-toe passing, as you called, that's what had me a little mesmerized. And Dustin Wolf really had no chance to make that play, so that one's not on him. It was just a little unfortunate there for Frost. But as you mentioned, Draisaitl and McDavid already on the score sheet. That's the way it always is. If Edmonton's going to get back to what they want to get, they got to finish it off. As this is said the other way, Rasmus Andersson coughs it up. Here we go with Edmonton on the counter. Kapanen try to throw, but bounces in behind the net. Here's a dangerous pass. It's kept in. Now toward the right side dot. Edmonton looking dangerous up. A couple of turnovers here for the Flames. Kapanen splits two defenders. Saved by Wolf.
Huge save, John. Huge save. And that may have been friendly fire. I think that the puck may have bounced off the backside of Ball's stick. That was a hair-raising moment there for Calgary. Already down 1 after Frost was in the box. We're going to take immediate timeout. But, John, we're seeing something that we've talked about before. Unfortunately, if you're a Flames fan, we're talking about it again. At least I am. I'm going to bring it up. We have to be aware of the ongoing turnover issues for the Calgary Flames. I know hockey's hockey. You're going to have some turnovers. You can give up that puck sometimes. But the Flames have been shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here and giving the Oilers direct chances, not in neutral ice, not on the other side of the ice, John, but multiple turnovers in their own zone.
You know what? And that's what makes me wonder. And I know it's night one, so forgive me if I say some things that might be out of turn. But when you think about it, Ryan Huska has an opportunity. We talked about Zayne Parekh, some of that stuff being a scratch. You think maybe 4 or 5 games, he probably finds a way into this lineup if some of the stuff on the back end doesn't get cleaned up.
Yeah, and listen, we try to be pretty balanced, right? When we're on the broadcast, I think we always try to be decently neutral. We like to laugh at our fandom, and we give credit where it's due. It's to the best of our ability. I'm going to have to keep an eye on Rasmus Andersson, and it's not necessarily his fault. He's a very skilled player. But John, we'll get into the details of this. But Rasmus, of course, with some of the more notable, should I say, contract negotiations during the offseason, and I think a lot of Flames fans expected Rasmus to move on. There was not a deal to be found. There was a Vegas possibility, but that wasn't possible. They have their own cap issues, etc. We'll get into all of that. But Rasmus Andersson starting on that second pairing and was involved in a turnover previous to the immediate timeout. Just not trying to single him out, but just saying that the Flames blue liners definitely need to shore things up here as we get further into this first period.
No, and I agree, because it's not really a single. You look at the stats last year, regardless if you believe in plus minus and the value of it, Rasmus was getting very close to the 40s on the negative end. And a couple of those backhands, you give a team like the Oilers some extra chances, notwithstanding Morgan Frost's penalty, which was kind of unfortunate, but that makes the game go north-south in a hurry, and you can't have that.
No, you're absolutely right. And we're going to see what the Flames can do here at 5-on-5. 9:20 to go here in the first. Just 5 shots total. Only 2 for the Oilers, but they put 1 behind Wolf. Flames got to answer.
So Backlund on a D-zone draw. This one's one clean back. Henrique able to send this one to the point. And shot gets deflected. A lot of traffic in front of Wolf on those. Here was a knockdown. Ball able to skate back into his own end, and that is a trip. That will be called. So the Flames will get their first power play opportunity of the game. Edmonton scored on theirs. They get a chance to go right back to it. Zary, that's a dangerous pass with nothing in the goal crease. I don't want to make a pass behind my legs with a yawning cage, but here's Ball. Now to Zary, and this one finally touched by Edmonton.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the rookie Tomasek is going here. And you were right, John. You identified the penalty pretty clear. Coleman goes down right along the boards near the Flames bench. Tomasek got a little close-up as the cameras identified that he was the offending player. And he said a single word that starts with the letter F that you don't need a translator for. That's how he feels about drawing his first penalty here this season.
That's going to happen. As a rookie, the game moves very fast. That one was at the 11:04 mark. We got 8:56 left in the first. Just a single power play tally from RNH at 9:53 right now to tell you about. See what the Flames can do. Opportunity now, Weegar. Here's Matthews scoring. Walks in. That was a ripper, but that had to be blocked, and Edmonton did a good job there. Sent back around now for Weegar. Lost the camera shot for a moment. This goes back to MacKenzie. MacKenzie surveys. Throws it back to D. Weegar takes the clapper. This one tipped and saved out of the air by Skinner. That was his best.
Going Weegar, unquestionably the quarterback of this power play. He was up top with Kadri, Frost down low. You could see Weegar trying to tee it up. He wanted to find number 16, did so. Great stop there by big number 74 in blue.
Yeah, another one of those you had to bunch up off of the deflection. Morgan Frost right there on the deflection, and then try to get a backhand right on it. Stuart Skinner saw it all the way. He's another one of those guys that needs to have a big year, but that's always said when you talk about the goaltending tandem between Skinner and Pickard. But that's the way it's going to be until it changes. So cleared down all the way in the ice, and here's MacKenzie Weegar. Penalty kill for the Oilers was 16th, about middle of the pack. As Morgan Frost, that was from last year. This will be flipped back and kept in off the embankment. Wanted to find Weegar again. You don't want to get too predictable. As Draisaitl and McDavid out there trying to kill this penalty, so that counterattack could be possible. Weegar wanted the puck, didn't go to him. Here's a good leave off for Coronato. Shot gets blocked as he goes toward the right side now. Kadri has this go between his legs. That's good work. Coronato could survey. He throws the pass across instead and wants to shoot it toward the left side point. And this one will be cleared down the ice. He had one of the Flames hungry in the middle of the slot. The puck eluded. And now Dustin Wolf. Pick this one up again here for Rasmus Andersson. Andersson in full flight. Now Connor Zary on the backhand as the Flames touch up, stay on side, but then it was easily cleared down the ice. Here's a one-on-one the other way. And Dustin Wolf now will leave for Rasmus, but he's got to find some space. 20 seconds thereabouts left in the Flames power play. Here's Zary off the give and go. Zary on the drop, and he leaves the zone. Edmonton doing a good job bunching up that blue line. Is this one sent in about 7:05 left to go. And the first shots are 4-3 Flames, but RNH got the only power play goal. Toward the left side red line and across the wall. Uses the bumper, does Rasmus Andersson off the give back. Here's Zary. There is a change. Ball steps on the ice, saves the play, tries to throw it off the outside of the cage, and now the Oilers, as the Flames can wholesale their regular lines, they'll do it again. Regula gains the red line and throws it in. Dustin Wolf will stop it with the stick. Picked up now off the stick shot, and the Flames, there's a rolling vulcanized rubber played in off the wall. Hanley try to throw it ahead. A little reverse hit for Hanley as he kept the puck. Now for Coleman, as he braces against the glass, and Michael Backlund eludes him. This will be sent back down the ice off the hand grenade. Dustin Wolf play it off the roll. Calmly push it toward the right side dot. Hanley now. Here for the Lamborghini. Ryan Lomberg tries to step through, gets cut off by Podkolzin and Kulak, able to provide support. And this one will be flipped halfway across the ice. Settled down for Jake Bean. Push ahead for number 91. Nazem Kadri. It was off a 1-on-3. Didn't have a lot of help there. Lost the puck. 5:50 left to go in the first. Edmonton still nursing a 1-0 lead. It's been a good pace, not a lot of shots. As it's Pahal. He got away from the inside out. They try to find Bouchard. He's wide open now. He can let it go if he wants to. Here's a pass and across. The Flames easily snuff it out. Kadri leading a 3-on-2. Igor Sharangovich thought about it. He'll just throw it into the corner. Kadri now gets his stick tied up. He's got nothing doing there. As it's Farabee trying to push ahead with Sharangovich. And now RNH. See this one go ahead. It's picked up now for McDavid off the chop. That was a pretty heady play, but Dustin Wolf finds it in his glove.
Yeah, McDavid was right there with number 10, Trent Frederick. Frederick was nearby if there would have been anything rattling around in the crease of the low slot, and Wolf does a great job there. You know, he does look solid early on. I'm not surprised to say that. He's been just a godsend for the Flames there in the crease, and he will have to continue to be that. I will say that overall, John, you can tell me what you think here as we hit the timeout. I think that the Flames have done a good job here over the past 5 or 6 minutes or so of just tilting the ice a little bit back in their favor. I wouldn't say that it is leaning their way necessarily, but they've made some nice plays. Obviously, the power play will give you a little bit of momentum. They had a couple of good looks, but it's nice to see the Flames mixing those lines up a little bit. Lomberg was out there with Backlund and Coleman for a while, was able to hold possession just for a bit. Sometimes it's those fundamental things, those building block things that you need, especially when you're playing a team that's been in the Stanley Cup final for 2 years in a row. Just got to get your skates underneath you and see where you can go.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, because when I'm looking in the slot with the power play goal notwithstanding, as we talked about, Calgary is doing a really good job covering up that slot. Some of those dangerous passes that Edmonton's trying to force, Calgary's able to snuff those out and quickly push it the other way, at least to the neutral zone.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? We, of course, we highlighted a negative for the Flames there in the first 10 or 12 minutes of this opening period of the year. We were talking about the turnover issues. Now, listen, it's a small sample size, but since we brought it up, there have not been any significant in that regard. So, hey, it can go from shift to shift. It can go from period to period. I like to see any positive progress for the Flames in that direction, and that's what we're being shown right now.
Yeah, you're right, because it blades into it. It was early, but now it's just 6-4. They're only losing that battle by 2. But what I didn't notice right now, and I'll pay more attention to it as we go along, Edmonton in the faceoff dot here early, they're leading 9-1.
Yeah, and John, I'm giving you a little anecdotal piece here. The Flames have struggled to some degree over multiple seasons in the faceoff circle. It hasn't been egregious. I don't want to say that they're the bottom of the pack. Maybe we can look that stat up. I can get the MacBook fired up here, but let's see what the Flames did last year, that they don't look so good in the dot yet this year. That's maybe the new area for us to take a peek at. 5 minutes to go in the first. Play-by-play back to you.
We'll see what happens here. Was Backlund out for Lomberg, who got kicked out of the draw, and this will start again with Edmonton puck possession. So now that I brought it up, it's something to be watching. As it's 10-1. Sent the other way. Listen between the dots. Lomberg now off a 3-on-2. Here's Coleman. Try to chip it for Lomberg. I kind of like that there, because you want to just go on the fourth line and use that speed, and Lomberg's always instant energy. As this toward the left side dot, Bouchard really cheating in the offensive zone. Colson, here's a rebound. That was an opportunity. It was stopped by Wolf, and then a punch in the face by MacKenzie Weegar, and here we go.
Oh, yes, John. Here we go indeed. Battle of Alberta time, and it's MacKenzie Weegar going right after the youngster Isaac Howard. Welcome to the big show, my friend. This is MacKenzie Weegar giving you your howdy do. Your invitation has been punched. Literally, you're in the party now.
And Isaac Howard, there was a big story for him. I know the Michigan State Spartan, he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning. He kept going back to Michigan State because he wanted to get that college experience. And when Tampa's up to the cap and they really needed him, he goes, I'm requesting a trade. And then he was happy to say that he was playing with McDavid and Draisaitl. So I kind of wonder, I know it's on opposite side of the conferences, but when Edmonton and Tampa play against each other, I might wonder if they have a target on his back for that.
That's a good point, John. Really interesting little thought right there. It brings up the memories of Adam Fox, who was once in the Calgary Flames system and essentially forced his way to the opposite coast. So do we have a similar situation? Maybe apples and oranges, but it's close enough to draw the comparison.
Yeah, it's something to find out. And I like the mention that you have from MacKenzie Weegar, because ever since we've seen him acquired from that trade from Florida, I like him more and more every single season with the Flames.
Yeah, I agree, my friend. And I now have to point out that Edmonton has taken a decent lead in the shot clock. They have 7 officially, Flames just 4. So offensive opportunities coming at a premium for the road team here. Flames are going to have to flip the table in that respect if they want to get back on the right side of things.
Regula. Now we'll get this one across. Start again. Here's a long pass from 150 feet. This one played off the wall, and Wolf will safely brush this toward the right side dot. Didn't look like he got the full power on him that he wanted. This is on the right side red line ball. Try to find this in between his skates. And the Flames are looking for a breakout, but here's Coronato. Excellent work to get that one out of the zone. You love when your forwards do that. Here's a drop for Frost, but he overskated it. And now sent the other way off the 2-on-1. Beans holding his man. And nice work there for Edmonton to throw it back and then gain the entry. Here's McDavid trying to buy some time. Snipe and a score! What a play!
Oh, John, it hurts. It hurts. Andrew Mangiapane, who started this play and finished it, just individual effort, down on his knees at the blue line, somehow holds possession He beats, I think it was Jake Bean. He finds McDavid. McDavid cycles at the half boards, finds Mangiapane, who absolutely lasers to the glove side. Top cheese for 88, and it is 2-zip. Wow.
Let me say this for Mangiapane on the 88 side. Look, that play isn't extravagant, but what I love is the dirty work. You play that off a 2-on-1, as you said, on your knee. You're smart enough to make the back pass to get the entry again from McDavid, and then Mangiapane slams it home. I mean, that is beautiful stuff.
I can't hate it. That was a fantastic individual effort, helped by the best player in the world. There's another chance now with 3:20 on the clock. Puck bouncing right in front of Wolf. Claps is going to try to get it out of there. Flames way back on their heels now. Oilers doing Oilers things, John.
Draisaitl, left from Bouchard. Here's Bouchard now. Ripper save Wolf. And Calgary's got to make sure that they're only down 2 by the end of this after that kind of play from Mangiapane. Can't punch that button enough. I know it's going to be really interesting seeing him in that jersey, but as I said, and Cooper mentioned it in our show previous, you put him on a team like this, you might have a breakout because he's a good player. Sitting around the end boards now for Ball. And McDavid's already got a couple points. Huge hit by Ball as he levels Podkolzin. Picked up now for Sharangovich. Igor trying to get this the other way, just mercifully chips it in as the crowd has a lot to cheer about right now in Edmonton. Let's go the other way for Noah Phillip. Here is Kapanen. Put this one in off the glass. Opportunity for Jake Bean off the back skate. Able to send it the other way for Justin Kirkland. Just good to see him back on the ice. He is a shootout master. If it gets to that, you know he's going to be out there. Even though he hasn't played in a long time, I know Ryan Huska is going to use his head and make sure Kirkland does that if it gets there. And this will be iced by Edmonton. One of the only things they've done wrong this period.
Yeah, and I like to shout out to Kirkland. He's coming back from a significant injury, and it's good to see Kirkland's signature, as he's called, out there again. And hopefully, at this point, with the Flames being down 2-0, if you're rooting for the road team, like I admittedly am, you want it to. I'd take a shootout at this point. So please get Justin Kirkland out there one-on-one with Skinner.
Are they writing in Mangiapane's first goal for the Oilers? Because that's hurting.
Yes, they are. They broke out the Sharpie, and that's his first one as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And listen, he has, I think, a very solid tenure as a member of the Flames. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to have to pause on this one as Mangiapane looks confused. So do I. We have a whistle here. Was that icing, John? Or we got a penalty? Hopefully it's icing.
I think you are a little bit ahead of me as this goes back around the inboards now for Weegar. I'm going to try to reload my feed and see what we got. We might have a penalty.
Take a look here. No, that was just an icing, my friend. No penalties there. False alarm on my part. But yes, I might be a couple of seconds ahead of you, which is rare. Normally I'm the one chasing it. But let me know if you're set here, or I can hand play-by-play back to you with 1:50 to go here in our opening stanza in the new NHL season.
So I got another face-off here by Frost. That one was lost. I think what it is every time that this new ESPN app loads, there's an ad, and the ad is of a different time. So if it syncs up differently for us, the games might start at a different time, unfortunately. But that's just something we'll figure out as we go through. Here's a pass across right up the gut. Frost took a spill as Gradine tried to pick it up. 1:35 left to go in the first. The shot board reads 9-4. All of a sudden, that's landed. Edmonton's got a pair. Sent around the end boards. Mangiapane has the latest goal, as this will be sent back down. Flames will get the steal. Blake Coleman on a 1-on-3. There's been a lot of that right now. Every time the Flames try to get into the neutral zone, they just don't have any reinforcements behind them. But again, we still got another 40 minutes at least of this game. As this will be off the stick lift. Rasmus Andersson steps up, gets the steal. And now the Flames captaincy and Backlund will brush this off the stick of Stuart Skinner off the clear end. Opportunity now for RNH. He scored the opening goal. Here's a leave. RNH will just use a partial screen as this goes wide of Wolf and settle back down for Savoie. He'll go ahead and loop back around as Edmonton was in the midst of a change. 40 seconds thereabouts left to go in the first. Savoie tries to make a toe drag, lost the puck. Opportunity now for Nazem Kadri. You know, he doesn't like to be quiet in games like these. He's always a candidate for a breakout play. Swatted out of the air with a glove. And this goes back for Adam Klapka. Sent around now on the end boards. Rasmus almost ran into Kadri. Here's a shot. This one goes wide of goal mouth. 20 seconds left to go in the first. Did not register a shot on goal on that play. Here's a rolling puck. Wolf's going to smartly let it play for icing, but now the Flames got to win a draw.
Yeah, John, in a replay right there of a shot that was almost on by Howard, just went whistling over the crossbar, I believe. That was over the tip of Wolf's glove, so could have very easily been 3-zip. And there on the feed is the reference to that draft by the Lightning that you were talking about with Howard. But we're going to have a 13.7. We're going to have a draw on the offensive side of the Flames. Going to get one late here.
We'll see what happens. I'll admittedly tell you, I watched a lot of the Maize and Blue and Green and White. I did not see Isaac Howard do a ton of goal scoring for Michigan State. He did get some points. That was a good team that was top heavy. But if he's looking like this now in game one, Edmonton might have a good prospect pick.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they are empowering him to step in offensively. 10 seconds to go here on my side. I'll give it back to you as we get to the end of this first.
We'll take this draw again, and this will be an opportunity off the tie for Kadri. Here is Weegar. He will let it go. Good diving shot block. As this one goes outside the zone, Weegar tried to gain the ice. It was blocked again, and now that kills the first. It's 2-0 Edmonton.
Yeah, a couple of things to mention here. First of all, we got a little something going on between Klapka and I believe that's put Coles in there, John. Klapka is screaming at the Edmonton Oilers as he makes his way to the bench. Coleman also in the vicinity.
Oh, boy.
Klapka jawing with his opponent. And yeah, I think Mangiapane, Colson, and Klapka, a little something going on there, my friend.
This Klapka might just be trying to provide some spice for his team. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. But the couple things that I wanted to mention were, of course, I'm thinking about a couple things. That's the couple things that the Oilers did to the Flames. Those couple things were 2 goals. That was RNH on the power play to start off, and then the absolute snipe from Mangiapane, the former Flame, former Cap. Boy, oh boy, that was a rocket. What a first goal for him to get his campaign started. And then I have to say, as we were watching the Flames head back to the room, it took me a second in my brain just to shift into this new mode. I'm so used to, John, seeing Dan Vladar wearing the baseball cap for the Flames, and that's no longer the case. It's Mr. Cooley now with Dan Vladar exiting.
So with Devin Cooley, before I get into the intermission content, Dustin Wolf's going to get the lion's share of the work, maybe at least 50 plus. But how many games do you think Cooley would get if you had to guess?
I think that Cooley is probably less than 20.
Okay.
I know that's a huge workload for Dustin Wolf, but with his age, and I think him really leaning into that the starter position, the unquestionable, concrete starter's role. Do you think that's too many starts for him if he's in that kind of 60 territory, or you think maybe I'm a little bit off?
I don't think you're off, because the Flames are trying to push for a playoff spot. As long as Dustin Wolf can stay as he is, that's probably what they're going to need.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm just still settling in with Dan Vladar exiting. It's Cooley now. So you're right. The Wolf's going to get to the lion's share. I guess I'm just using animal analogies for obvious reasons, but he's going to get the major share of those starts. And he's already had a lot of work tonight. You got to assume that, especially with these top-end teams in the West, he's going to be getting a lot of work on a regular basis. We'll see what the Flames can do with Ryan Huska's notes and adjustments coming out of this first intermission.
So I'm going to take our personal stuff for the second, if you don't mind. I'm going to hit the NHL stuff in the first, because we got a lot of business to attend to. What do you think of the McDavid contract on the 2-year?
I think it's kind of a show-me deal. I think that he is taking this deal, which is generally believed, and I agree with this more than I disagree, that it's a quote-unquote hometown discount. Now, he's still making more than most NHL players could ever hope to, even with just a 2-year deal. But he's got the remaining year, which has just begun tonight, remaining year on his existing contract. Then the 2-year kicks in. So effectively, we're looking at 2.5 seasons before Connor McDavid starts to really think about what his next move is. And I think, so really think about that. That's about 3 trade deadlines, right? And I think that's a significant factor. I think he wants to know that the folks making roster and personnel decisions are going to continue to move the right pieces in place. And you better believe, John, that he has input, as he always has, in that regard. But that's really what I think it is. I think it's show me, and meaning show Connor McDavid, that The pieces that are necessary will continue to be moved, right? You mentioned it early, like the Evander Kanes are moving out, but the Mangiapanis are moving in, different players, but Mangiapane can still score goals. I think McDavid wants the right kind of support around him, and I think that contract gives the team time to get just that.
I absolutely agree with you because he goes, okay, I got a decent payment. I got what I wanted. I'm doing what I can to also do what I do on the ice and also give the team leverage. If you can't get it done after the 2 years, I'm probably out of here.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. And I think it also not only allows him just in the binary world of, hey, I'm either an Oiler or I'm not. Listen, he's a professional athlete. He has a reputation that he wants to maintain. I think with this kind of deal, it allows him, should he decide to move on, which would be well within his right, especially if the Oilers start to slide back away from that cup contending realm that they've existed in, he can say, hey, I wanted to give this team time. I wanted to give this team a reasonable number that allowed them to still that did not exhaust our cap. And he said, hey, I've put my best foot forward. Unfortunately, the things that I was looking to see have not come to pass, and I'm going to exit. I will love Edmonton always, but I need to make a choice for myself and my family. I think he sets the table for that. If it goes that way, I'm sure he doesn't want it to. I'm sure he'd love to take, I'm sure he'd love to take almost what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of like the Sid Crosby model, right?
Yeah.
That you're just there, you're going to get the statue no matter what, without any difficulties in there. So that's what the contract says to me.
That's exactly what it is. Let's get into this. It's wild over here. Philip Gustafson, 58 games played, 31, 19, and 6, 256, 914, 5 shutouts. Those were good numbers. The 32-year-old signs a 5-year deal of $6.8 per till $34 million to 2031. And then Kirill Kaprizov, the 28-year-old, who had 108 points in 21-22, 96 last season. After this $9 million deal ends, it's an 8-year extension, $136 million, 17 per until 2034. He is the game's highest paid player. And I know there's been some injury concerns, but there hasn't been a lot of campaigns yet for Kaprizov because he's had 3 40-goal seasons in 5 of them. And he's pretty good. He's going to set to pretty much break every record. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but as we said, the cap's going up for the next several years, and I think Minnesota had to pay him.
Oh, I don't think they had a choice. I think that the way those negotiations went said everything that needed to be said in terms of you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm either out the door, or you're bringing the pocketbook, and they chose the latter. I think they're right to do so. Minnesota's been around it, right? They've been around it, but they've been in that kind of second tier of playoff teams where they're always a threat. They generally are able to have their way with their opponents and step into the playoffs with confidence. But I think that now this puts Kaprizov squarely in that kind of Connor McDavid style role. It's like, hey, our offense runs through you. When you're on the ice, you have free reign to essentially do what you need to do. You're going to create your line. Who do you want playing alongside you? Who do you prefer to be on your blue line? He's the man in Minnesota. No question when the number's that big.
And it is what it is. You had the free agency class of next year, never too early to talk about that. Essentially on night one for a lot of teams. McDavid and Kaprizov, and then Jack Eichel, the dominoes continue to fall. He signed his big deal. He signed a 38. It's an 8-year deal, $108 million at 13.5 per. He's got 1 more year left of that Buffalo deal. And Eichel is one of the 6 players already named to Team USA for the 2026 Olympics in Italy. As I said, that free agency class takes another hit. It's a big deal for him, but man, oh man, we've seen the best of him in Vegas.
No doubt. And we're starting just generally, right? Let's just paint with a broad brush. What we're seeing is, I think, the reflection of a league that is finding new levels of success overall. The National Hockey League, right? More money in. I think that there's more eyeballs, more attention, more care about these players. I think that the marketers of the NHL are doing better than they have in a long time. Hey, let's actually put these stars forward. We don't expect them to go out and be great orators, and they don't have to be Glenn Powell, star of Chad Howard, just plus Hulu. But you know what? They have personalities, right? They are unique. They have something to say. Let's get them on social media. Let's put them forward. And these players are saying, hey, reason people watch hockey or what they talk about, and I would like to be paid for, with the respect and the knowledge that that is the case. And I think the teams are right to do that. I think the teams don't have a choice. But I love that the players that are driving the attention for the league are getting paid the way they should be.
One more here for you, because it's another one, and it's probably the same thoughts, but I wanted to mention it because I think this is really good for Kevin Cheveldayoff in Winnipeg. Because remember, you talk about it over the seasons, and you're wondering if they were going through a rebuild on the fly and what was going to happen. Well, KFC Buckets, Kyle F. and Connor is going to stay in Winnipeg. 8-year, $96 million at $12 million per for a 70-plus, 80-point plus, and more. I think that's really good for him to stay in Manitoba with the Jets.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, I'll keep it short. I know I've been long-winded tonight because I'm just warming back up. I got to get the pipes rolling like you've already been. But I just want to say that I think that's a really smart deal. I think it's good for both sides. And I think it sort of falls into that same Kaprizov model, just in the sense that it's like, hey, we're the brass in Manitoba. We will win at Winnipeg. We want you to be really the center of what we're doing here. And they're not shy in doing that. And I think he's going to step into that role and continue to grow.
Yeah, because Scheifele and some of those other guys are going to have to be stepping aside, not all too soon, but Kyle Connor really has to be that next little linchpin for Winnipeg.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It's just an acknowledgement that it's saying to that player, we understand how big of a piece you are for us. We understand that, you are going to be a driver of, again, just thinking about, right, we're not here, you and I, John, we're not here to talk about the business side of things. We're here to talk about the Battle of Alberta and the game. However, it goes part and parcel. Yeah, you're going to be working on the ice. You're working hard every night trying to get us wins. But you're also, right, you're the face. You're who the fans are going to be coming to see, and they love Scheifele, and you can go down the list, but he's the guy. And I think that's really smart, and it's hopefully going to be a great deal throughout its duration. That's a long time, but those longer deals are becoming more commonplace now.
They will be. And again, I don't normally headline a preseason, but I have to talk about this. Even if Cooper didn't see it, we could still have a conversation about it. But the Battle of Florida preseason spectacle between Tampa and the Cats, there was 2 blowout wins on both sides between Amelie and at Amerant Bank in Florida. 500 penalty minutes in 2 games between the teams. Yes, some of that stems from the Brandon Hagel hit that the Panthers gave to the Boltzmann last year. But the NHL and Department of Player Safety, they got a lot of work to do because it's going to make the league look Bush League. 500 penalty minutes, and you have Tampa also playing guys. Yes, I know it's preseason, but they knew some of those guys weren't going to make the roster. They just went in there for headhunting, and Florida did the same. Not a good look.
No, not the best look. And I mean, part of me just wants to say, save it for the games that matter. I mean, unfortunately, I know everyone's trying to make the team, and it makes me think about NFL preseason a little bit, where, you might get a linebacker who's on the cusp, throwing up a hit, just turning themselves into a missile, trying to make an impact on the coach and show that they're unafraid and willing to go 100% physically at all times. But, in the NHL, listen, we just talked about the stars, right? Let's just, in the preseason, I'm not saying hands off. Let's not get caught and soft here, but we can find a middle ground. If you don't like each other, we understand. But 500 penalty minutes, a little excessive. Save it for the regular season, boys.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. And again, we'll talk about this as well for the Cats. We know about the Alexander Barkov loss. It's going to be for the entire regular season. We'll see about the playoffs. Matthew Tkachuk is going to be out probably until the Olympics in January. It's going to be an opportunity for Anton Lundell, Eetu Luostarinen, and Brad Marchand, that third line, to step up. You still got Reinhart and Bennett. I will give the Cats, even still with those injuries, a WC berth. But what say you? Because those are big losses.
Yeah, you know what, John? I have to be honest. I think when you're losing, I love that this whole intermission is all about the stars, right? And it's that's too much star power on the sideline, on the benches for too long. And I mean, look, it's still the Panthers. I think that they're going to give teams fits. I think that they will still win a ton of games, and I think they'll still comfortably make the playoffs. But the very reason that we would have liked the Panthers, this is what we talked about at the end of last year. part of the reason that they were able to succeed in the way that they have and go back to back is the core, that heart of their roster, the sort of unchanging beating heart of that roster. And well, it's changed. It's changed through injury, and we just haven't seen that in the past few seasons. If there's any team that can weather the storm, it's probably them. I would put, I would even better than an Edmonton, even better than a Dallas, right? Some of those teams have been right around it. They're the champs. They can probably weather the storm. But I just think, especially if Barkov is just out, like capital letters out, does not come back to the playoffs, then we are going to be having a different conversation. It's probably a shorter playoff run for them.
We'll see what happens here. I'm going to speed through this a little bit just to get all this in because I want to leave the second intermission essentially for us. The first one's business. But the LTIR rule begins this season. What do I mean by that? So Florida is going to be guaranteed $3.8 million of cap relief. That's just the average player salary from last year. That's if Barkov does not come back for the playoffs. To get full cap relief this year, and yes, playoff rosters have to be cap compliant, Barkov would have to miss the entire year. Florida has not designated that. So if Bill Zito and them three-peat with all of that, he probably will get GM of the year. And as we said, that would be a full $10 million for Barkov, but he would have to be completely out, as Cooper mentioned, like Alex Pietrangelo had already said over the last 2 years for Vegas. So that's how they were able to get the Eichel deal done. And then one more thing for me. In the next CBA, as we get a chance to talk to some of these rules, that's 26-27 next year. There's going to be an 84-game season from 82. No dress code. No more long deferred salaries as in ways of cap circumvention. And the way I say that is have a player make $2 million on the back end and $12 million in the other years. You're not going to be doing that anymore. There's going to be mandatory net guards so that way you don't get any of those slashes and those scares. New sponsorships. Players can now support and get commercials for CBD and alcoholic beverages, so that gives them a chance to make more money. New player minimums will go from $775,000 to $1 million after a 4-year contract, and we will get an Olympics, but no Russia still.
Yeah, John, I love that you just went through all that. That's a lot of change, and I think it goes to what we were talking about earlier, right? This is a league that is wanting to open itself up, become a focus for more sports fans, bring in new fans, and also give lifelong fans something else to see, right? We love the game and we love what it is, but hey, let's see these players different. I mean, I know, hey, a commercial's a commercial. Normally we mute them or we turn them off or we ignore them, but still, who knows what could potentially be out there for deals, for players thinking about what market they'd like to play in when they have different sponsorship opportunities. There's a bit of a reflection there of kind of the NIL. I'm not saying that this is NIL by any means, but it makes me think of that model in college now where players are being allowed to kind of open their world up a little bit more. I think the NHL is smart to do that for these professionals that should really have had that right for much longer. But all the same, it's happening. I like some of the safety mandatory the stipulations as well, including those net guards. Listen, it's not a huge lift. I think it's a smart play.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a little something. Everybody wins. Keep the players healthier. Check. All the boxes. I like it.
You got to do that. And again, when you talk about the way that this game has moved in the NHL, I think Gary Bettman, again, he got a lot of flack from the beginning of it, and it was understandable. But I think toward his long end and his tenure, who knows how many CBAs he's going to be left to negotiate. But I think he's kept the NHL in good hands. I know the NBA is a completely different product, but from David Stern to Adam Silver, I kind of shake my head at some of those things I don't like. But in the NHL, I'll be honest with you, Cooper, I kind of like the way that it's been going. I've been really enjoying the NHL over the last few seasons.
Yeah, and I'm just grateful that you and I have been around it and been able to cover it and are looking at some new changes that I think are going to be great. And boy, what all this is good stuff as we get the feedback here. We're noting early in the broadcast how Rasmus Andersson and Mangiapane were chatting with one another. They've been friends way back to their junior days. It's good to see we're seeing some shots of them together as Flames, and now they're side by side. But of course, that's a split screen, John, here on our feed. They're on opposite benches. One's an Oiler, and one is still a little bit surprisingly a Calgary Flame.
Those are pictures and memories and jerseys of buddies that have a lifetime friendship. I kind of think the same for you and me, although it was a little bit late. That's stuff that I never forget.
100%, my friend. And we're about to get puck drop here in a second. Is it my turn to jump in here on that play-by-play?
Yes, it is. You're going to be ahead of me, so I'll try to back you up where I can.
Okay, I got you. So we're just to give you a marker here. We are 10 seconds into our second period here in Edmonton, and the Oilers are moving from right to left. On your radio down, the Flames in their white jersey with the red hockey pants moving left to right. This puck's going to be chased down in the Flames and by MacKenzie Weegar, as John mentioned earlier, a likely future captain for these Flames. He's been vocal about wanting to stick around for a long time and make an impact for the Flames, and he's already made an impact in this game. Nearly had a nice pass to Morgan Frost on the only power play opportunity for Calgary that went begging in the first period. So it's 2-0 here for Edmonton as Skinner collects in the trapezoid, and we'll drop this thing off to Bouchard. Bouchard's going to quarterback a little breakout from his own zone. And boy, John, right on cue. My technical issues are coming back. I've still got the feed. I'm just getting a little hiccup here on my video, so I'll let you know if this thing ends up needing to go back to your microphone. But right now, over a minute has elapsed as Rasmus Andersson, who's on the second defensive pairing. He picks up the puck after it's stopped by the big paddle of Wolfie, and the puck is in the neutral zone. Now Edmonton trying to recollect. It's already back to Andersson's stick, who was behind his own cage. Flames again last year missed the playoffs by just 1 point. Kadri out there right now. It's a top line. Klapka and Farabee as well. Oilers possess. Bouchard looking for McDavid. David in that left circle spins back around. He's done almost anything he's wanted to tonight. Angle pass back to Bouchard. Slap pass down to the paddle of Wolf. Knocks it out of the crease, but now back to Bouchard. And is this thing glove down? Yes, it is. Oilers pick up right where they left off, John. That was an Ekholm shot that was taken by the trapper, Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of attack right now. Again, we're going to get closer as this press is halfway through this contest. And I want to see the Flames be able to get into the zone and get some sustained zone pressure and get some shots.
Yep, and on my feed, I'm seeing the advertisement for the Maple Leafs playing the Red Wings on Saturday. So that's something I'm going to keep my eye on, as Frost is going to be whistled out of this faceoff.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, for me in the text across, I'm not going to be able to get the local games today unless I go to the parents' house. So I'm going to have to either watch some highlights or drive back and forth.
I love it. You're a man on a mission, John. I know that you will not be stopped. You're going to find a way one way or another. And the Oilers apparently are trying to find a way here, as there's a shot from the point that's stopped by a body. Now the Flames won the other way, shot from distance, and that one handcuffed Skinner a little bit, but he holds it in the breadbasket. That was a shot right on, I believe, John, from the youngster. Gradini puts one in, and a good save by Skinner.
Yeah, I like that there. That's exactly what you want to get those chances. Again, you mentioned it a couple of years ago from the Vancouver-Edmonton playoff game. If you just test Skinner enough and see what he's made of, you can get back into this game. Not a bad idea. Now you just got to take the other end and win some faceoffs.
Yeah, so 10 shots for Edmonton, 5 now for Calgary after that Gradini laser that was handled by Skinner. And just worth mentioning here as we start the second, Huberdeau and Pospisil both out for the Flames. So these lines a little bit mixed up, and John, we're going to have to probably wait at least a couple of games here to see what Huska's more classic, sort of traditional setup would be for the forwards and the pairings. 17:45 to go here in the second. Now 11 shots officially as that shot clock clicks up by 1 for Edmonton. They lead where it counts the most, 2-0 as the Flames are chasing here. Now a shot across by Coronato. That one's too wide to Skinner's right. Flames do control at the moment, but it's in the corner now to Skinner's left. Oilers will take possession. Again, my video jumping just a little bit, John, but I think we're still okay as Wolf tries to corral behind his own cage. Can't do so. Coronato was unable to keep possession, and now the puck will be taken by Kulak. Kulak, former Flame. Fourth line out for Calgary now, being led by Lomberg. Always great to see Lomberg out on the ice. He gets relatively limited minutes, but man, does he go 100% every time his blades are on the ice. And the Flames with an icing call here. Just, I think, their second, John. There haven't been a ton of icings, but this will give the Oilers an offensive zone draw.
Yeah, an opportunity here. It's 11 shots to 5 as we talk about one power play and then Mangiapane on the other end. As they look at Medved Gradin, it's a good opportunity with them, as you said, in between Huberdeau and Pospisil out. They get a chance to show some highlights against the Kraken. That's another one of those teams you get a chance to watch. And some of those look pretty academic.
Yeah, and I like it. I think it's pretty unequivocal here. Gradin basically has green light, right? Within reason. Still playing sound fundamental hockey, but he's been out on the ice for almost 5 minutes. And he has 3 shots. Boy, number 23, Justin Kirkland. John, every time I think of number 23, I think of none other than you know who, Johnny Gaudreau's battery mate, and we'll talk about him momentarily, but we have play continuing here as Kirkland, wearing that 23, is now off after he broke his stick in the face-off, so the Oilers are going to actually take over here with Ball, trying to throw a check. Connor McDavid on the right side, he controls as he often does without any difficulty. Going to drop this one off. I believe that's Enrique. And now puck back to the near point. Oilers controlling. Just about 3.5 gone here. The cross-ice pass goes a little bit off, and so the Flames are going to be able to control possession. But, John, this is what we've been starting to see. The Flames not really able to sustain all that much possession and break into the offensive zone in a meaningful or dangerous way. Let's see if Weegar can change that as he controls in his own end. Coleman's coming up, and there's a shot on. Similar spot from where Gerdine took the shot, and that one was taken by Connor Zary, left wing on that third line here tonight, John. So should be the 7th shot for the Flames, but nothing that dangerous.
So when we talk about things that we never have seen before, and a common theme in our broadcast, Justin Kirkland just goes down to a knee to play a face-off, and his stick breaks. I've never seen that right off the draw.
Yeah, I mean, maybe once or twice have I seen that. He was really trying to get some leverage on that stick shaft. A little too much and put the Flames in a bad position. They had that happen in the first period as well, a major turnover on a broken stick. So got to keep the equipment in one piece, John, as yet again, the Oilers win a draw. That one was in their defensive zone. And a bouncing puck results in a shot that is saved by the right pad of the goal. Oilers can't keep it in as the puck trickles all the way out. Flames have possession in the neutral zone. They'll take it on the right side. Coming in right now is Frost, and he's looking for Coronato. No, excuse me. Make that Klapka wearing big number 43. Can't miss Klapka. Boy, I think he's about 6'6", John. He looks huge out there. Now the Flames with a chance for the left circle. They love shooting from that left circle here in a second. Puck bouncing in the high slot. Nothing doing, and the Oilers will skate it out. 3-on-2. Flames trying to get numbers back. It's controlled. Held there by Noah Phillip. Phillip down to the left corner. Phillip gets the puck right back. He's checked by Kadri. Kadri trying to lift the stick. Can't do so. Back to the right point. Stays at the right point to Bouchard. Bouchard surveys. Going to send it back over. Quick passing now with the Oilers. 15-10 to go. Puck on the stick of Matthias Ekholm, bouncing it to the right of Wolf. He has to leap forward and cover that puck for the whistle. More intense play, John, by the Oilers, and they were right around it looking for number 3.
Yeah, Dustin Wolf had the puck right on his doorstep. He answers there with the glove. I like that pass from the previous sequence for the Flames and Joel Farabee, but it took too long. Little handcuff there for Bean to be able to shoot that one. Have some traffic in front of the net. That's what you need now, but it seems like the Oilers, if it's a 50-50 puck, they kind of have them all right now.
Yes, definitely. And we are looking at a Flames team that's still in the single digits when it comes to shots. Backlund trying to win a faceoff, and does. Nice individual effort there, John. His stick got tied up, and he played soccer for a second there. He kicked that puck out of the dot and to a teammate, and now the puck is loose. The Oilers will pick up a Weegar with a nice check down in the corner, and that results in a momentary turnover. Flames, again, can't really hold on to it, but you like to see that effort from Weegar. He came all the way in from the blue line, just flying, and separated the Oilers from possession. Now Coleman has it. He's tripped, but no call. Oilers holding in the O-zone. 14:30 on the clock. Now Hanley takes it. He's on that top pairing left side of the blue liners for the Flames. And puck slides to the neutral zone. Coleman was in the O-zone a little early. Backlund skates the puck over, and the whistles go.
So we'll continue to watch this across here for Calgary, a little bit offside there. Again, as Cooper mentioned, just try to get some shots. I'm looking to see if anything changes on the ESPN boxes as far as the stats. But you just got to get some more puck possession. I know Cooper mentioned it alongside with Huberdeau and Backlund, maybe shuffle those lines a little bit. You probably would see Huberdeau again on the top line with Kadri, but you got to find some sort of answer.
Yes, you do. And Flames are going to have another situation. This is a neutral zone face-off, but they are whistled out, and the draw will be lost there by Gerdine. So actually, Gerdine trusted to at least attempt to face-off there. He was not able to win it, but interesting that was the choice. So I think we're seeing something here with Matvei Gerdine. He's really gotten, I wouldn't say the keys to the kingdom, because there's a turnover in the defensive zone by the Flames. Another one tonight. Unfortunate to see that. They are able to back check and get control once again. It's a nice cross-ice passing there. Rasmus Andersson He's got that offensive touch. We didn't need it here. Somebody's got to get a spark going because the Flames turn it right back over. And puck trickles around back behind Dustin Wolf. Flames almost being doubled up on the shot board now. It's 13 for Edmonton. They have 7 through the Flames. And nice work by McDavid in his own zone. And McDavid and Enriquez back home that are doing a good job as the puck is deflected off the skate by the Oilers. It's a good forechecking here. We're seeing Hanley down low. We're seeing Kirkland looking to take over, but unable to do so. And now the puck on stick of best player on earth, Connor McDavid. Top line out for the blue and orange-clad Edmonton Oilers, leading 2-0 here in the second. My name is Cooper Hopkins on play-by-play. Happy to be along for another season over with John Ott as the puck bounced off the skate of Trent Frederick. And now out to the slot. And that is a blocker save, I believe, by Wolf. Point blank, John. I didn't get a number there. Could have been Kulak coming in. That's the only man I think who have a 7, maybe McDavid. I don't think it was 97, though. So we'll take a look at that replay. Maybe you can help me with that as the Oilers continue to hold in the offensive zone. Now a puck that's deflected through. Bouchard fakes the slap shot. Now to the left side of Wolf. He's able to deflect that thing, I think, off the left pad, but it's shot after shot now, up to 16 for Edmonton Flames. Cannot get out of their zone. Finally do, desperate for a change. Just dump it down to Skinner. They did that from the neutral zone, so no icing. Mikael takes a nice deep breath. He'll give it to McDavid. That first line still out there. McDavid absolutely streaking through neutral ice. Now pulls back. Going to drop it to Draisaitl. It's stolen here. We have a whistle. Do we have a penalty against Calgary? You believe it? And it's clapped up. Clapton, my friend.
Yep.
He goes too hard against McDavid, and he will go to the box.
He draws the trip there. That's not a good sequence for the Flames. And I hate to pick on Igor Sharangovich, but he tried to use the left side of the glass near the dot. He throws a pass out like a wounded duck, and then it gives about a 1.5-minute cycle there for Edmonton, and then forces Klapka to take a penalty. Kind of seems there's been a little toying there, but Cooper and I mentioned, just get the puck out of the zone. You can't have this thing feel like 1,000-pound weight. Unfortunately, it's been too much of a problem as we get a hook there.
Yeah, and it's credit to Edmonton. You know what? They're saying, hey, our best guys are better than your best guys. You know, you're out there, you're tired. We're going to run right at you. That's what happens when you got tired legs. And McDavid makes his way as he – I mean, John, I know there's an asterisk on always, but it really does seems like McDavid just always gets to any spot on the ice that he wants to go to. And I don't care if you're Klapka or you're any other player on any other team. You're just going to be chasing 97. And he drew that penalty, and now it's going to be time for the Flames to get back on the kill. Will they be able to do so? Different question.
Yeah, the question now for me is, after already getting the power play goal from RNH, how are they going to choose to defend? Are you going to sell out for the slot? Because if you do that there, then you're probably going to open up yourself to some booze bombs.
Yes, indeed. And so, I mean, John, at this point, it's almost like pulling a name out of a hat. We have to find out who will provide the spark for the Flames. I mean, pick a name at this point. Can it be Coronato? Could it be Blake Coleman, the veteran? Could it be even the captain, Michael Backlund? We haven't talked a lot about him tonight. Just pick a name, my friend. You don't have to, but it's anybody. It's got to be somebody.
I'm going to go ahead and throw the two out there that were linked together from the trade. I still want to see more from Farabee and Frost.
I like that. You know what? That wouldn't have been where I go to first, but that's why I like that we do this together, because it's like you're like the half of my brain that I lost somewhere along the way. I gotta have you around just to keep my head on straight, and I love it. Let's get Frost and Farabee going. This is their real opportunity to show exactly what they're going to bring to this team this year, and I hope that you're. You know what? I hope we get a tied game with goals from both of them. I'll just put that out there.
What's this graphic that we're getting on Sportsnet now?
You know, it's a tough call for me. They showed the graphic, but of course, we love the sound of our own voices so much that I didn't actually hear the description. So we're going to have to pretend we didn't see it, John. Hey, guess what? Tell me if you've heard this one before. The Flames take a medium-strength shot from the left face-off circle, and it's saved relatively easily by Stuart Skinner.
Well, you're going to have to do that. At least I will say this in their defense. When you're doing that on the penalty kill and forcing a draw, that's a plus play. That was Backlund making it there. But again, this is me repeating myself, but I have to win this draw, start with some puck possession, and then work the kill the other way as Devin Cooley's getting some camera shots.
Yeah, he is. So here we go. It's an offensive zone draw that is lost by Calgary. So 15 seconds have elapsed in this man advantage for Calgary. And with 12 minutes to go in the second, it's McDavid again streaking up the right side. He's looking for a shorty. And the Oilers are on. Edmonton, John, I'm all over the place. Edmonton, of course, on the power play. Flames down a man with Klapka in the box. So no wonder McDavid's got extra room. But there's a shot by the Oilers. And, John, I might have to have you take over here and get some jumpy video on my side. So just for this power play, as Wolf makes a save, if you could jump into it, go ahead and do so, and I'll try to rectify.
I got you, and I'm a little bit back behind, but we'll pick it up as this is now for McDavid. Gets a chance to get this from the left side down. Here's a chance for the slot. This will be found in the webbing and the catching glove by Wolf. There's Tomasek now trying to get some pushing and shoving alongside the Flames defense.
Yeah, Tomasek's really been in the mix, and he's jawing too. I like it. I like the youngsters not being afraid, even though they're Oilers. Hey, I'm all for it. You get in there, you're a pro player, you know what to do. Even if you don't, you got an idea. You played at high levels all your life, so might as well keep that energy and keep that intensity here at the NHL level. And another face-off whistle down. We've had a couple of stoppages. I'm not sure if we had an illegal take there. 1:15 on this power play as we get a shot of Dustin Wolf. And he's had a yeoman's job tonight. He's done a lot of work and kept out what could have been probably 2 or 3 other surefire goals. A nice, clean win for the Oilers from the face-off. They hold in the offensive zone. RNH. And there is a back pass from Tomasek, and it's found by Draisaitl to the awning.
Oh, boy.
Bang, bang, bang. It's 3-0.
I didn't want to draw you into an opener like this, but when you have another one of those goals, Tomasek gets the draw and the drawing with ball, and then he just lays a beautiful no-look to Draisaitl. I mean, that's a slam dunk.
You know what? And I saw the puck being collected by Draisaitl there, and that's not for him or his collection. That is the first National Hockey League point for David Tomasek, and that's a pretty one, John.
Yeah.
He collects down low, goes backhand blind pass through Dustin Wolf's legs, through the blue paint to a wide open Leon Draisaitl, and that is a tap in for the third goal of the night. And congratulations to Tomasek. That is certainly in order.
And how many of these 3 goals can Dustin Wolf stop? Because right now I have it at 0. He was held out to dry on a beautiful play.
Yeah, I'm feeling it for Wolf. I think, unfortunately, listen, we don't want to be too reactionary, but there are going to be some games like this year. I think we're seeing the Flames just being outclassed a little bit here. They really don't have an offense to speak of so far. They really have not built anything in the offensive zone. I understand that 2 of the goals for the Oilers came by way of the power play, but they all count.
Yeah.
If you're committing penalties, you will be punished, especially by a team that is as skilled as Edmonton. So 3-0, 11:05 on the clock as one of the Flames goes down. I think that might be Kadri who was tied up, but no whistle and play continues. The Oilers trying to take it the other way. We'll just gently tap it into the zone. Forechecking there is Coleman, and he gets the turnover momentarily. Boy, that's another thing too, John. I hate it that this is a theme that we identified early, and it continues. Just sort of lazy turnovers for Calgary as some of the Oilers fans are on their feet. They are loving it. Puck now on the stick of Enrique, goes right through the crease, and it's over to the far corner. Now picked up by the Flames by Jake Beam, and he will just clear. So we're about halfway through this game, John, and really it's been effectively all Edmonton. You and I can certainly go over the details there, but I think generally that is what we have seen so far. The Oilers come right back into the O-zone. They're not able to keep it. Flames get it out, but they can't possess as they get it out. It's really sort of just dump and try to get a deep breath. One of the Flames goes down, blows a tire right to the right of Skinner. Now coming forward is Howard. Howard, unable to get it across. Mahal to the Flames, tries to clear, can't do so, but it is picked up by Calgary. That was taken momentarily by Gradin. Gradin gets it through the neutral zone to the right side of the ice. Flames will pick up here a loose puck. It's Coronato. Coronato steps in. He tries to get that spark going that we've been talking about, but his shot is deflected off of a skate blade. 9:40 on the clock. 3-0 Oilers. Cooper Hopkins along with John Otts. Bouncing puck out in the high slot now. Oilers will take. And this is dropped off for Ekholm. Ekholm goes cross ice. Puck is into the offensive zone for the Oilers. Drops to the stick blade of Justin Kirkland. He will dump in. This one is off of the hip of one of the Oilers and settled down by Skinner. And the Oilers try to break out, can't connect their pass. And so it's chipped right back in by Hanley. And John, you identified correctly earlier. Yes, indeed, that is my middle name. So credit to you, tip of the cap for remembering that one. The Flames actually now pick up a turnover. And there is, yes, again, a shot from the left circle that was about medium speed that is handled easily by Skinner. I'd love to see any other attempt from any other place on the ice, and now the Flames have it in the trapezoid, and it's on the stick of Weegar. Let's see if Weegar can set something up, and he takes a shot that is off the toe of the skate of his own teammate. So the Flames, a little bit of comedy of errors here, even though they had some ozone time, and that time was maybe 10 or 12 seconds or so, and the Oilers will take over. Now a second turnover in the Oilers zone. It's on Coleman's stick, and the puck is loose from behind the net. The shot on by Kadri, but it didn't have the angle. So that one, it really, John, is the best offensive opportunity of the night for Calgary as the puck exits the zone momentarily. And then there was a delayed offside. I thought we'd get a whistle there, but I'm going to keep on trucking as the Flames now collect again. So just a moment of not only reprieve, but actual offensive action as Farabee looks to center. Can't do so. He is dispossessed. And now it's tic-tac-toe back and forth. Savoie has it. He will drop off, which is beautiful backhand passing tonight by the Oilers. The puck's held by RNH in the near corner. And the Flames at the half boards will take over and escape this thing out. Rasmus Andersson, haven't said his name a ton in this second period, but he will dump in and immediately go off for a change. So Kadri, who's still out there, he chases this thing down. Nice job with lipstick and get it back to Andersson. Correction, I thought Andersson went off for the change, but just cycled back into his blue line spot. So he stays out there, and a nice steal. Nurse gets up the puck. That's the first time that we have said that name. Excuse me, not Nurse John. That would be Kulak. And now there's a score by the Flames on the other side, unexpectedly. Oh my gosh! I'm looking at the roster, and just like that, it's a huge moment for Calgary as they make it 3-1. John, you take it from me. I'm stumbling all over myself.
That's Pinball Wizard there. Is that Gradine?
That is 100% Gradine.
Wow.
Save that puck as well. So you got the youngsters scoring their first points. You got on one side Tomasek with a beautiful primary assist, and then streaking into the zone is Gradine, and it is pinball time. He's able to knock that thing in. So some bad luck for Edmonton, but hey, he's doing what we wanted somebody to do. Just throw it in the middle and do anything. But take a shot from the left circle, just put it in there, and you got to score.
You got to be kidding me. That hit Noah Phillips' back skate, and that catapulted so hard. Skinner had no chance to make a play, but however you can take it. Matvei Gradine, congratulations, good sir.
Congratulations are in order. And John, I'm just going to reset my feet here. As the Flames do have a little bit of life, they're trying to carry in this pace. That's another thing we've been missing, the pace from the Flames. But here come the Oilers with just as much pace the other way. And there's a shot, nice block by Hanley. And Zary tries to get it out. I think that just stayed in the blue line near the Oilers bench. Weegar has it. I thought I needed to reset my video feed, my friend, but luckily this thing popped right back in, and so we rolled forward. And the 12:40 mark, your team gets his first, not only this season, but of his career, assists to Kadri and Coronato, their first of the year. Of course, this is the Flames' first goal at all. And now coming through the neutral zone and being checked by Bahal are the Oilers. So they will hold possession. They chip it back toward the penalty boxes, and I think we have a stoppage of play. Is it a penalty? I think so, John. I'm taking a look over here. It looks like Tomasek is going to go to the box. Is this his second penalty, John?
Yes, it is. He looks a little bit behest. We're going to get another camera shot, hopefully, of what the infraction was. But a couple of goals. Draisaitl with the tap, and from Tomasek, he goes to the box. But Matvei Gradine, as we go to break, it's a 3-1 game.
Man, oh man, I got to get myself a little closer to mid-season form. I'm stumbling all over my roster. I got Gradine scoring. Incorrectly identifying who's on the power play. John, oh my gosh, you got to carry me here, buddy.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Again, my apologies for a little bit of the delay, but since I'm over here from Lauren's side of the condo, I think that's probably where it's going to be, because this is going to be the home base for me for a while. Hopefully, we'll touch on that more in a second. So hopefully my delay is not too bad.
No, not at all. And again, congrats. That's a great move, a literal move for you guys.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like that you're you're joining forces and keeping it under one roof. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure at least today, I'll get into more details in a little bit, but I was trying to make sure at least today that I said, hey, we're going to be set for a 10 o'clock Eastern start. Is that going to be too late? And thankfully, she hasn't banged on the walls and told me I was too loud yet, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah, just by the thinnest of margins, you got everything like. But I love it. You know what? So even if she's not watching and maybe she's not a fan the same way you are, by association, she's a hockey fan as well because she is supporting your love and your passion for the sport and for jumping on the microphone, and I get to benefit. So I tip my cap to her as well and send my thanks.
Yeah, that is way too appreciative from you. I appreciate all that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how everything works. I'm just looking forward to see here for Gradine to got one. Let's see if we can get the Flames one more here before we end this second.
Yeah, always good to see a team that's really been dominated for most of the contest to at least get off the schneid. And look, they have built some momentum here. I think it's got to be exciting for all these guys when a youngster gets not only their first point, but their first goal. And now we see the replay of a bit of an unfortunate moment for Thompson. He gets high sticking. He didn't see, I think it was Zary skate by and caught him right in the chin. So high sticking. Flames 0 for 1 on the power play tonight as Coronato tries to get a couple shots off. Can't do so. He fanned a couple of times. He was being checked, and the puck is cleared down to Wolf. Wolf paddles it down, and he will leave this for MacKenzie Weegar. So you got the top forwards, and you got your top pairing as well out there, and that includes Frost. So we'll see if maybe one of the two that John mentioned, Frost and Verby, can make some noise here in this second period with 5:50 to go. Weegar keeps it in, gets the Frost. Frost along the left boards. He sends it back to the point, but past Weegar's stick. And we'll see if Flames want to change here. Hasn't been a ton of action so far, so legs still relatively fresh. And the top unit will stay out for Huska's Calgary Flames. And Nazem Kadri promptly turns the puck over, and it's immediately cleared by Edmonton. Flames get it right back. Kadri stretches to possess that puck. Does a nice job to hold it in. Good checking by Edmonton on this one. Now Kadri has it. Going to go for a shot. It's his own man in front. I think that was clapped it down low. Bouncing puck. It's in the cage, John. It's Connor Zary finds a bouncing puck, and you're going to have to get a look at this, my friend. You saw eyes. Did he score a bouncing puck out of the air?
Yes, he did.
Right now, 2 goals on the board for Calgary. This big challenge.
Yeah, Edmonton's going to immediately challenge for a high stick. Chris Knobloch going to use the video. See, that was intentionally batted out of the air. But that was disgusting in the middle. That was Nazem Kadri trying to send a play to the net. It bounced 3-4 times. Zary alertly had his eyes in the puck in a baseball-style snag. We're going to get a challenge, though.
Yeah, so it goes off Klapka. It's Kadri's shots. Then off Klapka's body. I think Regula was trying to clear. And let's take another look at this from another angle. So in down low, Klapka, and then Zary. Now, John, I believe that the blade of the stick has to be at or below the crossbar. Is that correct?
That's what we have right now, and if that's what we're looking at, Zary might be a little bit guilty. This might come back.
It's a close one. The heel of the stick is near the crossbar. I would say at the crossbar level. And you might have to help me here with this one, my friend. You probably know. Does the entire stick blade need to be below, meaning the toe of the stick? Does that have to be below the crossbar?
That was my initial thought of the interpretation of the rule. Unless the NHL changed it this year, that would be something that Zary, again, we talk about it. It looks like it's a little bit high over that bar, and that's why I think we might get it called back.
Yeah, I'm sort of neutral here. I think part of it is just me hoping that this goal stands. I do think I don't have a full grasp of every aspect of this rule. It's a well-known rule. This happens frequently throughout an NHL season. I love John. It's another classic game for you and me. Of course, we're getting one of these reviews for a high-stick goal. But the hand-eye coordination, let's talk about the good stuff. The hand-eye of Connor Zary there, just amazing. And you got the paddle up from Skinner, so you're getting contested there as well. And you're able to get the angle with that puck straight down, bounce off the ice into the net. We're getting multiple angles here. Great job at the Sportsnet team. That's the feed that I have. I think that you do as well. This is still under review. And I will say that this doesn't mean they're right, but almost every Edmonton Oiler on the ice put their hand up or a finger up or their glove up to essentially protest the goal right away. But Zary's on the bench. I think he's looking at an iPad replay right now. He's got a smile on his face.
As he should.
Maybe that means that he thinks it's good. Maybe he thinks it's coming back. I don't know.
No, as he should, because that's what I initially talked about before we went into the explanations. And that was well served by you, because Connor, Zary, between those four, we'll see what we get here.
Now, John, I'm a little bit ahead of you. If you want me to spoil this?
Go ahead.
That is a good goal for the Calgary Flames. Connor Zary gets the point from the Zebras to the center dot, confirming the score 3-2 Edmonton. And all of a sudden, John, with 5:13 to go here in the second, we got ourselves a new Battle of Alberta.
And I'm glad that you gave the initial clarifications, because now I know, and I can store in the memory banks, that the toe of the stick, if that's a little bit above the crossbar, that's okay. Everything else cannot be.
Yeah, I think I think that's what we're looking at. And it may have been close, but that was definitive. They called it a good goal. So that is Connor Zary's first on the Flames' 11th shot of the night. They're still being outshot 18-11. But now with 4:55 to go, Edmonton, it's a tale of two periods so far for them, as they look solid in the first and then added to it here in the second. But the Flames come storming back a little bit. They're trying to get possession in their own end now. Dangerous pass out in front of Wolf, but it is collected and then missed in the neutral zone. Coleman trying to forecheck. The Stanley Cup winner will go off for a change, and Edmonton will try to get this thing into the O-zone. Nugent-Hopkins skates this thing down, but it's picked up first by Ball. And Ball, unable to get it past the half boards, shot from way out, and Wolf is forced to make a save. Flames can't get this thing corralled, so Edmonton, with some offensive zone time here, there's another shot as Wolf slides left to right. I think that just missed the right post. And yes, indeed, there is. Excuse me, I think we had an offside here, John. And we will get a nurse for an offside. And the replay of the Zary goal, it's a good one. Zary seemed confident. Backlund was celebrating. Zary really pumped up. And that's what you want to see if you're a Flames fan. If you're a Flames fan, we go to break.
You get inside positioning at the left post, and you beat three players with the puck, and you bat it on midair. I mean, that's a gorgeous effort.
It really is. It really is, John. And it's been a quieter second period for, I have to bring him up, even though it hurts to do so. It's been a quieter second period for Andrew Mangiapane. Obviously, he had that laser beam in the first. I will remember that one. That was a beautiful shot. Makes me wish he was still wearing the Flaming C, but they're happy to have him in Edmonton. But he has not been as noticeable here in the second. Of course, Draisaitl has been. What a play by Honzek, the blind pass through the crease to him on the power play, made it 3-0. Then the Flames with 2 unanswered.
Yeah, when you really think about it, I know you had the one for Gradin who gets his first goal. He got a little luck off of Noah Phillip, but as you said perfectly a few minutes ago, a tale of two periods. And once the Flames found one, it seems like they finally got their legs. And I said, hey, let's get to the second period within a goal. Maybe I should have asked for more.
Hey, you know what, though? Maybe you asked for just the right amount. Yeah, we got to consider that, too. And I'll take it. You know, and I wonder, let me put it this way. I wonder, John, as I watch this lovely Jägermeister commercial, I wonder if we are seeing a little bit of what the Flames are going to require if they're going to be successful this year. This is not me saying that they don't have skill. They absolutely have skill. These are talented players. They're on NHL rosters for a reason. But there are levels to this thing. We're seeing the types of goals that the Edmonton Oilers score, and then we're seeing the types of goals that maybe more often than not the Flames might need to score. Maybe a bounce here and there, maybe a little greasy goal, maybe a deflection down low, right by the cage. Maybe that's what we're going to see more. That's just speculation for the Flames.
Well, that's what the Flames are when we've seen over the years that we've covered them. They are a grit and sandpaper team. Yes, they've had some players over the years. And by the way, we can mention this again if we did initially. Draisaitl, that's his 400th.
Wow, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I didn't have that in front of me and should have. That's incredible. 400 goals for the German star. Just impressive. And right on cue, 4:00 on the clock, at least on my feed. So we're getting inside the latter portion of this second stanza here as we got the Flames taking it in from the left side, and that was on the stick of Coronato. Coronato able to drop it back down to the blue line. They will cycle. Now, Backlund tries to float it in for Coronato. Coronato knocked down in the high slot, and the Oilers will take over. Now, a long pass here that makes it to Wolf. That would have been icing. Or John did it. Now, I'm looking here. Did we get a whistle? We did. That made a bounce off of the post and then crossed that final red line. So, a really close one. Good eye by Wolf. And it could have been dangerous, but let's get a replay here. Bouncing puck that Wolf lets bounce off the post, and so that is nice.
Yeah, it was, because initially in my four eyes look, I thought it went off his left pad, but that is a really good look for Sportsnet. And that's kind of dangerous if you're Dustin Wolf, is it not?
Yeah, he's actually got a couple of those tonight. One was about 6 inches off the post. Now this one literally off the post, but the Flames, as has been a theme tonight, not able to win the ozone draw. So those opportunities are being dropped by the visitors, and you'd like to see them capitalize. They've been unable to do so, at least not on a regular basis. Now, Rasmus Andersson, no control, and immediately, John, oh boy, he just sends a sort of soft pass into the glove of, I believe, Andrew Mangiapane. So an immediate turnover. Andersson's enably brought up. I want to make sure that his focus is still there. The Flames have relied upon him so much. And I'm not saying we're throwing games or anything like that, but number 4 in white, he's got to be locked in. He's such an important part still of this defensive group. So 2:40 to go here in the second. 3-2 Edmonton after 2 unanswered goals by Calgary. 19 shots for the home team, 11 for the visitors. Cooper Hopkins here on play-by-play. John Ott, at least in this period, on the analysis. We may trade off when we get to the third, but we'll find out. We'll keep it in suspense. At least this game has some suspense now after it was 3-0 Oilers. 2:20 on the clock. Flames take possession and have it down by the penalty boxes. It's going to be skated in by Frost. Frost now has it back. It was Frost with Farabee. So make some lines here are Huska and his coaches. So 86 and 16 together, the former Flyers. Let's see if they can build something and tie this game. 2 minutes on the clock now. Weegar has it. It's on his backhand. Floats it down to the corner. Taken by Farabee. Farabee spins, fires back down. That puck taken by Klapka. Now back to Klapka. And there's a one-timer that's just wide on the glove side. That could have been 3-3. That's a great look by Klapka to Farabee. Farabee drops down to that knee to get some leverage. Just missed. Inside 2 minutes now. Still 3-2. Edmonton with that thin 1-goal margin. Good forechecking by the Flames. John, maybe the most offensive zone time of the night right there for Calgary, as no icing is whistled. Weegar's still out there. He's got to be a little bit tired. We've got to think he's going for a change soon. But the Flames, here in the latter portion of the second, trying to maintain possession. Lomberg out there. So you got fourth line, Sharon Govich. So a little breather as the puck is knocked from the neutral zone down toward Wolf. Wolf goes to Andersson. Andersson back over to Kevin Ball. Ball now with it. Backhand pass by Lomberg. 104, 103, 102 to go in the second. At Coleman. Tests this back around. He's checked by Backlund. Flames doing a nice job with one of the defenders. That's Ball blows a tire. So here come the Oilers. But the Flames do have numbers back. They spin it back and they try to go for that pass to the point. It flows through everything, John. It's to the stick of Bouchard. 46 seconds to go here in the second. See if the Flames can put the pressure on. They get a turnover at neutral ice. Nice numbers back for the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, and then a flick off the stick. Great job to get that. Was that McDavid? Boy, he's got the defense too. He's there with Draisaitl, tries to go short angle. From the Johnny Gaudreau-style shot. Now it's loose in the high slot. 28 seconds to go. That one's saved by Wolf. You got to make 2 back-to-back. 20 shots now for Edmonton, John. It's going to be turned over and taken by Calgary. Now Kadri streaks out. That one's passed down low to Klapka. Klapka make that Coleman. And we have an icing. Looks like that was sent in just shy of the red line. But the Flames weathering a storm there as the tables turned quickly, John. It could have easily been goal number 4 for the blue team.
Yeah, you don't want to see Kevin Ball blow a tire. It does happen, but I want to just talk about this for a moment. How does McDavid in a mid-pirouette then drop that pass up to the right side for Draisaitl? That's ridiculous.
It's just magic. I know it's not, but so much of what he does, the stick lifting, forcing turnovers, pressuring players, building speed when no one else can. It's just magical to watch. He's an incredible talent. And we have 4 seconds, 3 seconds, Flames in the offensive zone. Try to get it over towards Skinner. Unable to do so. The green light comes on. So they do not tie it, John, but it's a positive outcome here. You have to think so. If you're wearing a white jersey with the red shoulder yoke, You got 2 goals. You're within 1, and you're heading to the third.
Well, you know how I said before, you're kind of hoping for overtime, the way that the game started. I'm going to say it now. I think we're going to get some extra hockey. I know those first 3 goals are not on Dustin Wolf, but the reason I say why for the OT, I think he's going to absolutely steal a couple saves because he definitely deserves to get a couple chances to make some saves that he actually can. And I think we will find it because, yes, the Flames did get one off of Noah Phillip, but then you get that beautiful play for Zary. That was a much better period. The face-offs, instead of from 9-1, have gone from 20 to 13. They've got 26-14 on hits, and they're working their way back through this. Good period.
Yeah, good period. Sometimes the simple answer is the right answer, and it was a good period for Calgary, and not a complete loss for the Oilers. Had they not had the power play goal, which came on a Clapton penalty, that was Draisaitl scoring into a wide-open cage. Again, deserves being mentioned multiple times. What a first point for Tomsek. That beautiful backhand blind pass through Wolf's legs. But without that goal, it's tied in, right, John? It would be 2-2 otherwise.
Yeah, that's exactly what the margins are going to be right now. And again, you got to fight your way off the mat. I know it's just night 1, but you want to, no matter what happens. Again, Cooper, it's not too early to say this. Flames got a back-to-back tomorrow in Vancouver.
They do. And I think, listen, I will say this too, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm hedging my bets, but almost regardless of what happens in the rest of regulation here, as long as this game stays relatively close, like maybe we see a goalie, but the Flames are fighting for that third goal. They find it, they struggle to get it. It's 3-2. It's late in the third. Wolf heads to the bench. Maybe there's an empty netter. I just like that the Flames had showed life after really not having much of any type of offense for about the first half of this contest. And hopefully that bodes well, as you bring up Vancouver. Hopefully that bodes well for a back-to-back in a season, John, where we're going to see a lot of back-to-backs.
Yes.
Because guess what? We're going back to the Olympics.
Yes, we are. And the one thing I will say between those segues, fortunately for the Flames, most teams have 16, 17. I did see the schedule. The Flames are tied with the fewest in 9. They're just going to have one right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season for so many reasons, and we'll see which teams are affected negatively, positively perhaps, and maybe just sort of neutral. Maybe there's some teams that just shrug and say, well, we're just playing hockey. If we got to go back-to-back, we'll go back-to-back. We're pros, and we'll hit the ice when you tell us to hit the ice. So I'm just fascinated to see how it all plays out. And, of course, you and I will have to talk about some of those Olympics games as well, because it's been so long. We're getting back to that, not just international action. We've had some of that. But we're getting back to the 5 rings, the famous 5 rings. And I know players are so excited about it as well.
Yeah, and I hope we get a chance to broadcast some of those. I'm going to give you a quick reset, then we'll get into our reset as well. So RNH in the power play from Draisaitl and McDavid, and then Mangiapane, a beautiful play, keeps it across the blue line, gets it back. Connor McDavid sets him back up. And then Leon Draisaitl from that backdoor pass we talked about with Tomsek. These look really good. I know he's taken a couple penalties, but that was a great play to just tap in for Draisaitl on his 400th first of the year. First game for everybody, 3-0 Edmonton. But Calgary bounces back. They do get a fortunate lift off the skate of Noah Phillip, but Matvei Gradin, the rookie, gets his first from Kadri and Matthew Coronato. And then Connor Zary, man, that was a beautiful play toward the left post. Traffic all around him, beats 3 players, flips it out of the air. Again, it was deemed a good goal, assisted by Klapka on the power play, and it's a 3-2 game. Stuart Skinner, 9 of 11, and Dustin Wolf, 17 of 20. Those numbers don't sound as good, but really 3 of those goals he's got no chance on. I do think he's going to steal some of the third and get us to OT. That is my call. As far as anything else that you want to reset personally, do you want to hit that before I take over for a minute?
I think you just nailed it on the head. I love that recap, and that's where we stand and where we head into the third. So we're set. When we get to the third, we'll get there. But why don't you take it over and lead the way, my friend?
I just wanted to make a mention, if there was a reason why you hadn't seen me on social media for a while, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I kind of stayed away from it. And then I was also in the middle of a move. So Lauren and I, probably after about 14 years now, have made that happen. So again, it's a little bit of a different thing for me for cerebral palsy. Sometimes you get in a new place. Hey, let's get to the right spots to walk. Let's make sure you can get a shower and get everything else safely. Get all the clothes moved. Get all the other things moved. Get the streaming all set up so that way, like yesterday, I don't accidentally hit the surge protector and power off everything and then have to do it again. So we're good now. We got everything set. Hopefully there's not too much of an echo, but this is probably going to be the new home for quite a while, and then we'll see what happens. We're giving adulting and living together a shot for the first time, and I'm excited for that because you know what? I'll just say this quickly and keep it clean, just like it is for you or Jen or anyone else. Sometimes it's just nice to have someone to come home and talk to after a long day at work. It makes you feel good.
Oh, 100%, man. I liked it. You know what? You said that in a really lovely way, and I know you're just being honest. And I think that's what we should all hope for. You know, sometimes we think to ourselves, "Oh, I gotta do this in my career. I gotta, achieve X, Y, Z thing." And I think really, when it comes down to it, it's those simple things that matter most, and really go the deepest when it comes to feeling fulfilled, and safe, and happy, and heard and seen, and all the things that we want to be just as people. And so to hear you describe that, and you have so much to look forward to with her and as individuals, and I'm really, my heart is full to hear you talk that way.
I appreciate that, my friend, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a new chapter as we hit the middle parts of our life. Same thing, Cooper and I are probably in that same spot. So just as much as he's fulfilled everything for me over the last 3 years, we built the hockey journey across Seattle. I can't wait to do that next year. I promise that's going to happen at the Saddle Dome because it's the Saddle Dome's last year next year. So we do have to make that happen. And hopefully at that point, we're going to see Zayne Parekh on the ice for the full time.
Yeah, I think that you're going to get 2 thumbs up from me. 1 thumbs up is for the fact that is happening without question, and the other one is I think CP, Mr. Parekh, is going to be a big part of this Flames team, especially by that time. And we're going to see it build through this season as he gets into that spot where he's ready to take over more responsibility. And by the time we're there in Saddle Dome, which will be for the last time, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But it'll be a new, I think something named Scotiabank. I know it'll be another building called Scotiabank Place or something like that. But either way, that Saddle Dome, speaking of the Olympics, of course, built for the 1988 Calgary Olympics, opened early and has hosted some real memorable games, including, since we're talking about, including my very first NHL game, which was a Stanley Cup final game in 2004. So that was a heck of a memory, and it'll be great to be there with you to have one more memory in the Saddle Dome.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It kind of gave me goosebumps in the way that you brought that up. And we got to get another win because if we got our first time at Climate Pledge in a win, it's only natural you got to do that with the Flames. Because I mentioned with you too, and I know we've been doing a lot of broadcasts. I hadn't made the official note until now, but I want to adopt the Calgary Flames as my second team. You know, the Red Wings are near and dear to my heart as always, but you're the Calgary Flames connoisseur, and if Flames Nation would have me, I'd like to be welcomed.
Wow. Well, John, the adoption papers have been filed. Check your email. You have been approved, my friend. You are
cool.
Absolutely, you're officially, it's no longer a bandwagon. You can jump off, you can jump on. You know what? Saddle up. Why don't we just say it that way? Saddle up, John Ott, because you're in the mix now. And hey, you've seen some glory days with your Red Wings. It's always going to be in the center part of your heart. But any room you have in your heart for the Flames, that's the kind of room I'm making for the Wings as well. I think I've said it a million times. I'll say it again since it's a brand new season. Anyone who hears this, NHL is a better place when the Red Wings are successful, when they're competitive. I cannot wait. I'll be waiting with bated breath to watch the return of the Wings back to the top echelons of the league. And hopefully the Flames are right there with them. They were there. I mean, since we're going through the whole memory bank, 04 classic playoff series between the Wings and the Flames that year. Could have gone either way. Happened to fall to Jerome McGinley and Mark Gelinas and the Flames and Kiprusoff and those boys. But I'm looking forward to, hopefully in the near future, us calling, maybe even attending a Wings-Flames playoff game.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be kind of difficult to be on the opposite sides of the conference. I wish they weren't at times so we can get more of those matchups, but that would mean Stanley Cup Finals. And as we go, I want to do this. I know normally we go about the NHL scoreboard. It's an NHL type of night, but let's hit the baseball scoreboard. So the Phillies trying to stave off elimination to the Dodgers. They're leading 8-2 in the bottom of the ninth. and it looks like that has just ended officially. So the Phillies do get one. They got a lot more work to do. Yankees don't have any more work to do. They've been eliminated by the Jays 5-2. I mean, that really was non-competitive throughout that series. And then one more before I stop. The Cubs fight off elimination against the Brewers. They win 4-3.
Yeah, John, it's interesting. And I'm coming at this from the Seattle perspective because, listen, we don't talk about non-competitive. Well, the Flames, the Mariners, they were leading and making things look like it might go their way at Comerica today. But your Tigers, they took care of business. The Dodgers are taking care of business. I think they will, even though the Phillies are getting one back. Things are bouncing around a little bit. But I think it's interesting that now one of the AL MVP candidates, because there are really two, one of them has been eliminated in Aaron Judge with his Yankees. Will there be another? Will the second AL MVP candidate be eliminated after these teams get back to Seattle? I certainly hope not, but I also don't want to step all over you because in saying that, that means that the Tigers get bounced. So what am I supposed to do over here?
Yeah, I feel a little bit sick to my stomach in regard to it because when I rooted for the Tigers to do well, then I also feel like I'm jabbing my best friend. So I don't know which way to go.
Hey, you know what? It just makes it better for me. I will say this. If the Tigers end up pulling it out, what a way to come back after a really major disappointment, right? Losing that division, being up by, I think it was 15 plus games at one point in the summer. That's not a great taste in your mouth, but you turn right around, you get retribution against the Indians, the Guardians, and then you step into Seattle, you win that first game, okay, the Mariners get one back. You head to Detroit, that you lose one, you're on the brink, you fight back in a major way. You got to give yourself a ton of credit if you're the Tigers to win that big, And then you're gonna. I have to assume that after, I think it would be 4 days of rest, Scooble's going to go again. We might see. I'm not sure if we'll see George Kirby again for the Mariners, but at least it's interesting. And whoever wins, hopefully, you or I will support the other as their team continues on.
Absolutely. I will give you some inside information whether or not Dan Wilson has already said it. George Kirby and Luis Castillo is probably going to be the main rotation for Game 5 because I said it in the story yesterday. As ugly as the Tigers looked, you have the Seattle Mariners bullpen that's absolutely taxed. And I said that they were going to go to a Game 5 and go back to T-Mobile. I don't know if they're going to end up pulling that one out, but Dan Wilson did come out with a quote yesterday and said, "We got to Tarek Skubal a few times before. We can get to him again." I got to imagine the Tigers will use that as bulletin board material.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. And, it was really only one Mariner who was able to get after Skubal. That was Jorge Polanco, who had not one but two.
The former Twin.
Also a yard. Yeah, exactly. So that's a very unique situation. I don't imagine that would repeat itself. That would be historic if Polanco just starts going yah off of Skubal again. But the Mariners, the Mariners are going to be hard pressed. I think you have to assume it's going to be another low scoring game. And not only are the Mariners bullpen pitchers taxed, I think this is just part of baseball too. When you're in a longer series, and this sometimes happens in like a 4-game series against, I'm thinking like the Mariners and Angels, anything like that, you start to see some of the same bullpen arms, and you can lock in a little bit better on those pitches. You start to pick things up quicker, and the Tigers certainly seem to have done that.
So I'm going to make no mistake about what the plans are for Friday. I think it's about a 4:40 Eastern start on FS1. That's where I'll be, whether I'll be cheering or crying, because the Tigers were in the same spot last year against the Guardians. They had a 2-1 series lead and lost. Now they force a Game 5. It's kind of crazy the way things work. Tigers had a 0.5% chance of making it last year. They get that historical comeback. As Cooper said, then they have the complete collapse in the division. Maybe it's one of the things the Tigers intentionally did it to get back at Cleveland. However it is, they're in the same spot they were last year. It just looks different.
Yeah, and it's a wild ride for sure for Detroit. And the Mariners have done something that they haven't done in almost a quarter century, which is win their own division. I've been to T-Mobile Park a number of times, and we all look up at those banners that are getting a little yellowed up there in the rafters because the most recent banner for winning division came in 2001. So I'm excited to see a new banner be put up in the park and get the division win. But you have to think after the year the Mariners have had, especially with those deadline moves. I know it's been covered, over and over and over again by baseball media, but getting a Naylor, getting a Suarez, getting the pieces in place that they needed to in the bullpen, and setting themselves up for a long run. You'd hate to see that fall short, but of course I'm talking to John Ott, who's in Michigan right now, so he's probably one of the very few. The Tigers Nation is strong, but he's one of those few folks who are saying, you know what, Seattle, why don't you go sit back down and let the Tigers take it from here?
I can live it initially and say, as a Red Wings diehard, that I can let the Tigers pass to have you have it. And I'll say that with the obligations. I know the Tigers will be mad at me for that, but I have to throw it that way. I know I said I wasn't going to get in the NHL scoreboard, but I think we've got enough time. I just want to show this across because it went across Sportsnet. Pavel Dorofeev, have yourself an opening night. It's a hat trick in the second period. The Kings had a 3-1 lead, and now it's 3-3. And maybe it's just another opportunity for me to poke the needle at Ken Holland if the Kings lose the first two games.
My goodness. Well, last night was, I won't say a complete disaster, but they were outclassed by the Avalanche.
Yeah.
That's almost the way that I was expecting things to go for the Flames here. The Flames have battled back, and they sit at 3-2. But, yeah, the Avalanche really took care of business. And you have to say, and I don't know if we have time to get into this, John, but the Kings, you're coming out as the first game of the year. It's Anze Kopitar's last season opener ever. You have to wonder about Drew Doughty as well. They looked like they're a little bit of an older team. And then tonight they get the lead and then immediately give up the lead. They are playing the Knights. The Knights are an excellent Western Conference power. But going into the third, that's all to play for. But you got to think the Knights have the advantage.
And I was going to say, I know Phoenix Copley got claimed in off waivers, but Kings must really have some issues because Darcy Kemper probably not going to play off the back-to-back right away. I didn't know Anton Forsberg's still in the league.
Oh, there he is. Surprise, surprise. Man, oh man, yeah, what about that? A hat trick after two for Dorofeev. Really impressive. And I like that, you get to see some of those names for the Kings, including Byfield, who gets his first. And you know what? On my sports app that I have, Score, on my little iPhone here, there's Kuzmenko, who was great during his time with the Flames. He's still wearing his Flames jersey in his image on this app, so they need that updated. But they love him in LA, and I still love him too. He was great during his time with Calgary.
Yeah, he was one of the really good pickups back up for the Kings, and I did like Kuz. I wish I would have worked out more. I do see that the Bruins get the first win over the Caps. Tom Wilson scores for the Caps, but Postel, Lindholm, and Geekie as Logan Thompson takes the loss, 18 of 20. Jeremy Swayman have himself a night, 35 of 36 in the win.
Yeah, that's big stuff. And those are a couple names that always are going to pique my interest. Certainly Lindholm, right, who was on that famous line with Johnny Gaudreau, rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau. Lindholm was celebrating big because he got what was the game winner. Geekie got his first in the empty net. Geekie, of course, formerly of the Seattle Kraken, but great Pasta, classic, big name in Boston. Wilson gets his first with Caps, but then, yeah, Lindholm and Geekie, I'll give those two thumbs up, just like I gave you recently.
Well, I was going to have you close it because I wanted to get the Flames a win. I've called every Edmonton goal. You've called every Flames goal. So are we still okay to do that, or maybe you should touch the whole third?
No, I think we can split it up like we've done before. So, Don, do you want to take the first 10? I'll take the final 10, or at least the final 10 of regulation.
All right, let's do it. I'll start it off. So Backlund now eludes this here as this is picked up here for Bouchard. Not an opportunity. McDavid walks in. That was beautifully blocked by Weegar's stick. That could have been a goal. As this is sent the other way now for Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl back toward the wall. Here's Bouchard. Gets some puck entry now as I just alluded. The other side for Edmonton. Try to go right to left in the road whites in the mix of the red and orange. There's a long shot and a score. I think Blake Coleman got a piece of that from distance, and this game was unbelievably tied.
John, you've got to be kidding me. 40 seconds into the third, I'll be honest, I had gone to the other room and hadn't even yet returned to watch the video feed. It was Coleman who tapped the puck in. It was right on the doorstep as Skinner was trying to control and I believe settle it and send it into the corner. He was frozen, didn't make a choice, didn't Flame push the puck out of the way. Coleman goes one-handed into the net through the 5-hole. It's 3-3.
That's unbelievably poor by Skinner there. That's a long clear. Zary's going to get an assist on that too, so you should have a goal and assist. The Flames were down 3-0. It's 3-3. And apropos justice, on our first broadcast of the year, the Flames are brought back to life as this is picked up and off the backhand, trying to find Kadri. That pass was pretty good, but now this goes the other way for Edmonton. Long glove save for Wolf. This is a brand new ball game.
Wow, John, I'm still just trying to wrap my head around this. It was a floating puck that went directly to Skinner, so relatively easy to handle. He paddles it. I think that he may have thought Bouchard was going to scoop that up and take it to the corner. Bouchard skates by. Skinner looked like he was a statue. And again, this is over the course of a second and a half. And Coleman, the wily veteran, taps it in with one hand. All three of the Flames goals. Just wacky, wild stuff. And then we got Wolf making another glove save right here. So he's got some action early on. 3-3, everything to play for.
I don't want to say it too early here for Coleman, but you're looking for a bounce back in from last year. I'm not saying he had a bad year, but that goal scoring 2 years ago was absolutely outrageous. And if that's something to get Coleman on the score sheet early, that's a good sign for the Flames.
Yeah, and you're going to have some of those veteran players that are on the third and fourth lines. You're going to have them have not necessarily career years, but really solid years, right? You got to play close to your 100% if this Flames team wants to make the playoffs. And hey, with performances like these, when you're down and out after the first half of the game or so, you're still able to battle back. It's a good sign.
Again, I mentioned with Dustin Wolf, I think he's going to be stealing a couple saves here. Now the Flames have put themselves in a driver's seat. There was a go-ahead pass from Bean and Farabee, and then unbelievably, he doesn't drive himself into the wall. He's still with it now. Farabee fights for it. This goes back to Bean. Bean now toward the left side red line off the half spin. Here's Jake. They'll leave it back and around the end boards. Flames now all of a sudden really buzzing. They've just scored nonstop here to tie this game. Shot from the end boards. Somebody's down there on a knee. Slow to get back up now. I believe that was Farabee, who's really struggling to get back to the bench. As this is sent down the other way, good reverse hit from Weegar. Takes his man off the puck. And now the Flames can quickly take this east to west. Good move by Lundberg. He's going to need some help. He gets taken down on a wrap, spinning like a top. Kirkland finishes his hit. Flames have been ignited here. This has been fun to watch. 17:45 left to go on the third. Shot board is 21-13, but the score is tied at trace. Sent back around the inboards. Bouchard lost the puck again. Lundberg tried to bounce it out of the air. He looked like he wanted to go with McDavid. That would have been fun to see, as this is Rasmus Andersson from the point. That one hits the left side of the wall. Ball will push this one in deep, as this will be a pin. Kirkland now tries to fall it. Lamborghini finds it again. This will fall right to Rasmus Andersson, shoots to the screen, and Skinner has to close the 5-hole. Now McDavid's holding on to Lundberg.
You know what? I really like this, John. I really like this. You got clapped it down low. He's getting cross-checked in the back. We're seeing a replay here of a couple of scoring opportunities. But on that last sequence, Rasmus Andersson had a clear lane. Also seeing a little bit of what could be an injury here, and I think that was Farabee who went down and went to the bench gingerly. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we're taking a look at Green as well. I don't want to step on your play-by-play. We've talked about Rasmus Andersson, his focus, his intensity. As soon as he has had that shot, takes it, he's aggressive offensively, and then you got the close-up of him dropping another one of those F-bombs. You wanted that go-ahead goal. I like to see that fired from number 4.
And I like what you mentioned earlier about Gradine. I think he's got the confidence in there from Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska, as you mentioned. Just go for it and play your game. And that's got to be absolutely freeing as a young player. There's a possible trip that could have been called if the cross-check from Nerstedt hurt Farabee, but this is Edmonton with the puck as they got in the offensive end toward the right side dot. Here's a rolling vulcanized rubber. Matthew Coronato smartly take the chip ahead and avoid a hit. You want to try to make sure you stay upright as much as possible because Matthew Coronato can absolutely fire that thing. Got to stay upright. Adam Henrique try to take this one from left to right. You have the dark blues with the orange in the mix for the Edmonton Oilers and the white stripes as they're at home at Rogers. This is opening night between the Flames and the Battle of Alberta and the Oilers. Gradine will spin. He's already got one here for Calgary. Move toward the left side red line, out toward the dot. Here will be a drop. Handling was lurking as this goes around to Backlund. Take this one D to D. Here's a give and go. Backlund now will lose it toward the right side of the crease to Podkolzin. We'll just flip it out of the zone. In the midst of a change, there was the Flames, and we'll get an offside.
Yeah, John, needless to say, with the goal, certainly, but really good stuff here in the first 3 minutes and 50 seconds or so as we get into this third period, final period of regulation. Right now, if nothing else, we are in a position where we may have spoken a shootout into existence. We may get that Kirkland signature shootout attempt, but we still got a ways to go here in third, the same right now. And we'll see where this game takes us.
If that comes all the way to fruition from what we've talked about in Kirkland wins it, I got to save my voice for Friday. I might not have one left.
Oh my goodness, you can save your voice, but you can't save your money. If we spoke that into existence, some kind of magic here, we're both buying lotto tickets.
We're pretty good at all of that through all of our predictions throughout the years, that's for sure. As this is coughed up badly, but this will be brushed across the zone. Now, the Flames have done much better at that in the second period. You want to avoid that in the third as Kulak. We'll throw this in deep now. Mangiapane was very active in the first, not so much in the second. As Hanley will get this one away. It is onside for Zary. He's had a very strong game. Just like to see him healthy as well. Now around for the captaincy and Mikael Backlund. He'll spin and turn, get around a couple of stick lifts. He'll leave this. It was loose for ball. Shovel it toward Backlund now. Take the pass across Coleman, who just scored. Rasmus Andersson. Beautiful puck movement toward the left side of the post, and that one goes just wide. Here's Frost. He recollects at the blue line. Ball plays this off the embankment. Here's a shot, 5-hole, and Skinner saves it, but the Flames look like they're going to a power play.
Yes, they are. The Flames had an extra attacker there for a little bit, John. It was RNH who was battling against Backlund. And a little bit of a ticky-tack call there. It looks like they're going to get him for potentially a slash. But ball, as we see the replay here, was looking for Coleman for a deflection. And Skinner's looking a little shaky here in this third. He couldn't find that shot that made it to him from ball, and that he was able to cover up. But now we are back underway. Oh, excuse me again, John. I won't step on your play-by-play, but we have a face-off whistle down, and it looks like it is Frost in there with the top line of that power play unit for the Flames. 2 minutes on the clock, man advantage, Calgary.
So just 1 for 2 to 2 shots with a baseball style snag for Zary. Frost is going to get an opportunity again. You got Coronato, Weegar, and Kadri out there. He's going to play the backhand, try to get it back to him and get a shot. There's a rolling puck. Good effort there for Edmonton, but they can't get it out of the zone. Road power play was 18%. That was good for 23rd out of the 32 teams. Here's an opportunity, maybe short-handed, but a good step away for Coronato. Get a stick on it. Break that play up. You don't want to get anything going there for Connor McDavid, but here you go from Draisaitl. Here's McDavid now with an opportunity. He'll just send it in. Leon trying to win a 1-on-2. MacKenzie Weegar trying to close him off. It's going to take a couple extra players to get 29 off the puck. At least that kills some time if you're an Edmonton fan. The other way now for Coronato. Take it to the right side of the wall for Farabee. Flip back around now for Coronato. Goes to Kadri near the right dot. Here's a chance, D-to-D. Coronato, pass across Weegar, trying to get it settled for Kadri. Stutter step, gives it back. Kadri to Weegar, play catch. Here's a great pass for Kadri off the setup, just off the left side of the stick for Stuart Skinner. I don't believe he ever tracked it well. 14-10 left to go in the third. Shot board 21-15 for Edmonton, but this game is tied. Just kept in by Kadri, bounced out of the air. As this will be settled down. Lazy pass kept in now by Weegar as the Flames continue their possession. Here's Kadri. Hasn't had to move a whole lot just yet. Coronato trying to provide some help. Draisaitl's been out there for 1:25 as this one gets shoveled down the ice. And Wolf will paddle it down. They'll leave it here for his defense. And Rasmus Andersson. It'd be nice to give him a lift and get a goal. He's had a rough game a little bit of go of it so far, but it's still very early in the season. Ekholm now rocketed amongst the inboards, goes all the way back down 200 feet. 15 seconds thereabouts left in the power play. Drawn here with Cooper Hopkins. It's a 3-3 game, 3 unanswered goals both ways. Here's Zary now. They'll settle this one in deep. Sharangovich now trying to give a look in that second power play unit. And this one goes away for Rasmus Andersson. Settle it back down. The rest of the Flames try to get on side. Opportunity now for Farabee as this one will be flipped back down for ball. It'll be a race now, and this should be an icing even after the power play expires. So we'll do it again in the offensive zone for Calgary.
Yeah, John, Flames with some really nice ozone time. And listen, that's to be expected to a certain degree when you have a man advantage. But the Flames, and listen, every team, but the Flames, that's what we were watching tonight. They don't always take advantage of it. They did a nice job holding the zone there multiple times. A couple of moderate scoring opportunities, and the things that are staying in their favor is the icing here and the ozone win. But the Oilers are going to be able to clear it out here in a second. I think my feed's still a little bit ahead, but we're at about the 13-minute mark here in the third, 3-3.
Coleman with a little bit of a tip. He's already got one on a fortunate play, but that was Zary who cleared it in. A 5-hole goal for Coleman on an unalerted Skinner. Bean will take this one the opposite way. This is stick to head for Backlund out of the left side red line. I'll give a chase. Dustin Wolf out of his goal crease. Bean a little touch pass that was dangerous. Now it's turned over. Here's Mangiapane, 88, sitting amongst the end boards. Bean first to get to it. Needs some help as this is answered by the blue line of Edmonton. Bean will see it fall back to him again. Here's Braden Palal. First time I said his name. Sent back around for Alec Regula. Hadn't played in over several seasons, but is on the second line for Edmonton. Good reverse hit there for Coleman. Takes his man off the puck. He'll just take his change. Sent in now by Kadri. Already gets another shift. Skinner. Got to wonder what's going through his mind right now. His team had a 3-0 lead. As it's sent the other way, ball. Got to get back in on his back skate as this is sent in by Zally. This goes the other way now for Bean. Picked up now for Kadri. It's a 2-on-3. Kadri only has the 2, but he makes a stutter step, buys some time, leaves for ball at the blue line. One more. Rasmus Andersson back the ball, doesn't shoot it. This gets deflected and then picked up by Edmonton. That was easy for them. Try to take it the other way now for Kasperi Kapanen, the former Penguin. They settled across the left side red line. Dustin Wolf out of his crease to play. Still 22-15 on the shot forward. Blake Coleman's got the only goal of the third, tied this game at 3. Morgan Frost splits the defense, finds the entry right across the middle. As this goes toward the right side of the glass, here's Leon, the German superstar. Here's a good leave. It's a 2-on-2 the other way. Trent Frederick was open on the right wing. Wants to get the puck to go back to him. It does not, but the Flames go to the box.
Yeah, John, I did not see this one, but I do see the reaction of Adam Klapka, who returns to the sin bin. It's going to be Klapka with a hooking call, I believe, on Draisaitl. So Draisaitl was appealing for that one. And I do say, I can see it and say it, that Klapka got his not only stick shaft, but stick blade into the glove and wrist area as Draisaitl was trying to make the play. Even if it's inadvertent, you can't do that. And so it's going to be another power play for Edmonton. And the Flames, who looked good over the past 6 or 7 minutes or so, they tied this game. They did so 40 seconds into the third. This could be what the Oilers need to turn the tide.
Yeah, and right now they are 2 for 2 on the power play, so the must kill comes into effect. The Flames have fought so hard to get back into this game. They cannot give up another one.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I know we say McDavid, Draisaitl. Those are the names. We've done it before. We've done it on our broadcast every time we watch a hockey game. Even sometimes when it's not the Oilers playing, we still hear about McDavid and Draisaitl. Rightfully so. Why am I saying all this? Well, yes, Draisaitl drew the penalty, but really it was McDavid controlling the puck in possession. Klapka trying to check Draisaitl in such a way that McDavid can't use him as a target for a pass or an outlet. And the Flames just doing too much there. Klapka doing a little too much, overzealous, and he goes to the box. So as we get back from this commercial break, very soon we will see if the Flames can kill a penalty for the first time this season.
I might as well hand it to you as it's in the mix of a power play just to not keep anything sloppy here. This is a big moment in the game. When we come back, we will see if we will get some extra time. I am just hoping if we do and get to the shootout, you do have to have Justin Kirkland. That is poetic justice.
Oh, yeah. Now it makes me want to guess who would be on the shootout list. But we'll just leave it at Kirkland for now. I think that one's guaranteed. But for this moment, John, this moment's going to require some defending as the Flames will be down a man. We come back to the Sportsnet feed. My name is Cooper Hopkins. I'll be jumping into some play-by-play here alongside John Ott, who always deftly handles the play-by-play calls and now generously gives me an extra 68 seconds with my beloved Calgary Flames as Klapka goes off for hooking. So 2 minutes on the clock, and advantage for the Blue
blue and orange clad Oilers. And every time I take the mic, John, it feels like the face-offs get whistled down, and this one does as well. So McDavid is out there, unsurprisingly for Edmonton. And we're going to take a look at who is taking this face-off from Calgary in just a moment, as McDavid commands a long close-up.
And in that face-off circle is Blake Coleman, and he will lose it to John yet again. A second whistle there as they were just trying to get this thing going. No time off the clock since we haven't officially started play on this man advantage for Edmonton.
And again, the way that works, it just gives more of Draisaitl and McDavid to get a breath, so you don't really like that if you're the Flames.
Yeah, well, third time's the charm there, and McDavid wins it. And he's going to pass this one down low, back to the high slot. It's a shot that's blocked. I think that's Coleman. Boy, he is such a linchpin for these Flames. He's everywhere. He's looked decent tonight, and guess what? He's got the game-time goal right now. But the Oilers are trying to untie this thing, and Nugent-Hopkins almost does so. A wrister low along the ice, saved by Wolf and covered.
That is one of those ones we just talked about. I'm about to see it in a moment. Dustin Wolf, going to find your way to get a couple of big-time saves to keep your team in it. That was destined, but he found that one with the right pad.
Yeah, he did. Boy, you know what? I like that Nugent-Hopkins had the aggressive mindset there. We've talked about that with a number of Flames roster players before. Obviously, the Oilers don't get to where they've been the last few seasons without some aggressive shots and aggressive opportunities. When you're on the man advantage, take it. Take it. Wolf makes a great save. Maybe his best of the game with the glove and the cover-up. Now 1:25 to go in the power play. Puck's down low on Draisaitl's stick. Looks up top for McDavid. McDavid goes to the far side. Turns, surveys. He is checked there by Andersson. It's loose in the crease. Slides through. Andersson couldn't keep it out, but Wolf does, and he will stop play yet again.
Right when you need to have that primetime backstop answer. You get 3 unanswered goals there. Ball and Wolf combine there to keep the vulcanized rubber out.
Yes, they do. And boy, just such deft skating, so nimble is Connor McDavid. He looks like he's doing very little, but he's always moving so quickly. His position on the ice makes everything much more of a risk for anyone trying to defend him. And now finally, mercifully, the Flames win a zone draw in their own end. They're able to clear here. We'll see if they get a change. Just about half of this penalty has expired for Klapka, who's in the box for hooking. And with 1 minute exactly on the power play, Edmonton has it. There's a pass across to the far circle. A wrister saved by the blocker. Weegar able to snap that thing back down to the other end. Halfway through the third, John, 24 shots for Edmonton, 15 for Calgary, 3 goals apiece. But the Oilers are knocking on the door. It feels like it's going to be a field. Excuse me, I'm still all over myself because I'm nervous. Feels like a long 35 seconds here left as the Oilers survey. They scan. Bouchard sends to the far side on the left point. Back to Bouchard. He's got a lane. Decides not to shoot. It's down low toward the red line. Back to Bouchard. He's got the puck a lot here as that second unit's on. And then a missed pass. Bouchard was just playing catch with his teammates. But the Oilers almost killed this penalty themselves with less than 15 to go here. Guess who's back out after about a 35-second break? Connor McDavid absolutely flying. He sends the puck into his offensive zone. It's floated toward Wolf. Wolf howls the thing into the glass in the near corner. 3, 2, and 1. Klapka back out as the penalty expires. 26 shots now as that count keeps ticking up for the home squad. They will hold possession here as we're back to 5-on-5, John. Less than 9 minutes to go in regulation. Tie hockey game to kick off the season for these two rivals. Now Wolf has the puck on his backhand, tries to clear it out. It actually bounces out of the far corner and through the slot. Nobody there though. And there's Kirkland again, the man we keep talking about. If we should go to a shootout, you know Huska will put him to use. Again, he's wearing number 23. It's a little strange to see that one. I admire that he's earned the right to choose that number, but I'll never not think of Sean Monahan. So we'll have that discussion at a different time as play continues. And the puck sits with the Oilers now. Nice angled pass all the way through the zone that is deflected up and into the Flames bench by number 24. That is, John, who the heck is that? That's me. I'm like, wait a second, is that Mahal? No, that's 44. No, that's 94. Oh, it's Hanley. I'm all over the place, my friend. You got to get me in shape, buddy. You got to treat me like a personal trainer. You got to whip me into shape.
This has been so much fun, as it always is. I'm just so glad we went from a 3-0. We kept the efforts and energy up, and then now we're rewarded for a 3-3. If the Flames even get 1 point, and I don't want to say this because there's been so many of those games last year where they just miss out, but you think even off of a back-to-back, down 3-0, just to get something to take out of this game, that's a positive.
Well, the first thing that's positive is what we just talked about 2.5 or 3 minutes ago, which is, hey, you have to kill this penalty. You called it a must kill. They heard you. They heard you, and they did. It was a little dicey, and Wolf did what he does. And he is really showing himself already in his first game of the new season to be, I would argue, maybe the top third of goalies in the league, at least the top half. He is just so skilled. His youth and his agility, his vision, the speed with which he flashes that glove and the blocker, a couple of pad saves as well. He's made a lot of good stops.
Yeah.
And the Flames are also they're getting them back for him because they left him out to dry a couple of times early.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, alluding to in the third. He had no chances in the first 40 to stop any of those. He's keeping his team in the game now, as you knew that he would. And then, as you mentioned, kill a penalty big time there. It was already 2 for 2. You had to have it. You get it there, and now we just see at the drop of a hat, Wolf looks better than Stuart Skinner. Keep getting some of those chances in there. Maybe you can avoid it and win in regulation.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's a tough one. I'm not out to villainize Stuart Skinner, even though he's on the other squad. But you know what? That's a big mistake. It would not be 3-3 if not for that mistake. And so you nailed it.
So we'll see what we end up getting here. You take it away. I know you're a little bit ahead of me. And again, every time I think about Ryan Huska, you think about Pierre and everyone else, Pierre McGuire in the mix of it. It always looks like a doppelganger. I never cannot think about that.
That's, you know what? Now that's one of those things, as the kids say, I'm not going to be able to unsee that. I've not been alerted to that distinction, but you're right, my friend. There's kind of a sort of a long lost brother situation here. There's a loose puck that is chased down by the Oilers, and there's a shot that goes just wide of Wolf's net. Under 8 minutes to go now. Oilers have it down low. That's Bean who falls on the stick of one of the Oilers. Poke checked away. The Edmonton Oilers couldn't really get a shot off. That was Isaac Howard, the youngster. Maybe a little bit of nerves there as he was dead to rights. Point blank on Wolf's doorstep, unable to really fully pull the trigger. And the Flames dodged one there. That was very dangerous as Calgary was able to collect in their own end. 7:30 to go now as the puck flutters through the air in Rogers Place in Edmonton and into the far corner to Skinner's left. And Skinner's going to need to be on his P's and Q's here, and he will probably be challenged to make at least a save or two. But we have offside here, so the play is whistled down. And John, that was a crazy moment there with Howard, who really wasn't able to get a shot off, and he could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and criticize Isaac Howard too much, but I said some of the things I saw on the green and white. Probably could have pulled the trigger on that one, and Chris Snowblock's going to tell him that, but I do admire his skating skill. I think he's had a pretty good game today.
Oh, yeah. We've mentioned him multiple times. He's got a point tonight and is certainly handled himself very, very well. And he's going to be an asset for this team moving forward. But now we got 7 minutes to go here. Cooper Hopkins on the call with John Ott. It's another NHL season. We continue our tradition. And can the Flames spoil this opener for the Oilers? They tried to do there right there with Weegar from distance, but able to see that is Stuart Skinner right in the breadbasket, holds it and gets the whistle.
That's what you got to have right now. If you're Stuart Skinner, you just want to be able to play this puck and feel calm here, knowing that you get your team a point as well. That's on both of these goalies' shoulders, but as the Flames will continue to press, you get a chance to play with it a little bit and feel good because you got to bring something back because Dustin Wolf's starting to showcase what he can do.
Yeah, a couple of names that I think we can focus on here as we have 6:57 playing in regulation. One of them's out there right now for the Flames. That's Coronato. He hasn't had a bad game by any reason, but or by any measure. But I don't think he's had a particularly noticeable game, especially on the offensive side. And then let's see if number 88 Blue, still strange to say that. That's Andrew Mangiapane. He had a gorgeous goal in the first, and he may be needed again if this thing goes late as it's tied and then into extra and potentially a shootout. So think about Coronato, think about Mangiapane. We still have John's call of potentially Frost and Farabee on the Flames side. Who could be the hero tonight? Oilers with the puck down low. They're going to send it back out to their blue line. It's floated off of Kadri's skate. He couldn't find it, but it does get to the neutral zone. Now he'll get a back pass that he collects. He tries to step inside toward the circles and is dispossessed. Flames will go for a change. 6:15 to go here in the third. 3 goals for Edmonton, 3 goals for Calgary. And John described it best. Those were 2 stretches of unanswered tallies. First 3 came for the Oilers. Next 3 came for Calgary. Nice job by the Oilers to get it out of their own end and get it through the neutral zone. It's on the stick of Durst right there, and then he loses possession. It's going to be picked up by Sharon Novich. He can't hold in the offensive end. So we're getting back-to-back turnovers, kind of possession. Things a little imbalanced right now. No one team can really grab hold of this thing. And that's part of the reason that we are tied as we inch closer toward the 5-minute mark. Now the Oilers have it in the neutral zone near the penalty boxes. Skated in by Bouchard. Bouchard's going to rattle this thing around the boards. Flames try to get to it in the far corner. That's Weegar over there. He's battling. And the Flames, it does deserve to be said here, John, you'll see this graphic momentarily. They had an NHL high 24 games go to overtime or shootout last year. And they're right on that same theme again. And we have a puck, I think, bouncing over the glass as Weegar's John, one of the Oilers. And no penalty here, just a stoppage. We will take immediate timeout, my friend, with 5:10 to go in regulation.
I remember the moniker that you always told me and you'd like to say about Derek Wills, the Find a Way Flames.
Yes, indeed. They're going to have to. They found a way so far, but they were going to have to continue to find a way. They have not led in this contest, but they have drawn even. I like that you remembered that, and now you put it right back in my brain. Yeah, that's the theme of the night for Calgary, find a way.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun so far. This ended up being a good game from the way that it's been. I know Alec has coverage on the other side of the NHL scoreboard because Mitch Marner was making his Vegas debut. And right now it's looking like it's coming up all aces. VGK up 5-3 with half the third to go.
Yeah, I'm going to break out the SAT word here. This is an ignominious start for the LA Kings. It's not what they were hoping for, especially on the retirement tour for their captain. Looks like they're going to go down on back-to-back nights. A tough way for the Kings to get going. They got the flashy new third jerseys, John, and the lights literally flash off those helmets. You got to tell me what you think of those chrome domes. With those third jerseys. You saw those, right?
You need sunglasses for those.
Well, hey, it is LA, so maybe they're wearing them on their the rink, and they can just keep them on when they find their seats, the Kings fans. But yeah, the Knights are doing what the Knights do. They're dominant, and the Kings closer to that level in the league where the Flames are. I'd say maybe one notch above the Flames, just a small notch, but still, it looks like the Knights are going to take care of business. Who will take care of business in this Battle of Alberta? We're getting some replays of the goal scorers, but it's 3-3. And somebody's got to take this thing with 5:10 to go.
Yeah, they do. And the one little quick thing for me before you take over here. I know LA has a tough back-to-back in there with VGK and Colorado, but I'm going to say this as early as I can. Game 3 is a must-win.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, or else we're starting to have a different conversation if you're going with those 3 losses in a row. But we'll get there. Speaking of threes, it's all threes on the scoreboard. Flames with 3, Oilers with 3. Michael Backlund with the puck takes a shot that was deflected away, and Flames trying to center this thing from behind the net on the Skinner side. That was Coleman looking for a teammate, unable to connect. So the Oilers will grab possession. 4:40 now. The clock, a major factor. Regulation slipping away, and this puck does not slip away from Dustin Wolf. He's able to control the paddle, but the Flames again just a little bit of trouble getting out of their own end here. There's a pass from Nurse, puck bouncing. Wolf is on the wrong side. Luckily, the Flames don't take a penalty there. I thought they might have to tie up a forward. It's bouncing out in front. A couple of rebounds tonight from Wolf. He's had some good saves, but left a couple of juicy rebounds as well. 4:15 now. Flames are able to clear down to the other end where Skinner corrals. Now the puck is on the stick of, I believe, Kulak there behind the net. And he will send this back up to the red line. A good job by Weegar to step in. He'll clear it back down to the Oilers side. Exactly 4 minutes to go now in the third. Cooper Hopkins, John, along with you. 26 shots for the Oilers, 17 for the visiting Flames. And there is a puck that is iced. Thought there might have been a deflection halfway, but it is iced by Kulak. and it'll be an ozone draw for Calgary.
I know I already picked my two heroes in there between Farabee and Frost. It's probably not right to pick two players, but I just align them in that second from Philadelphia to Calgary. You want to see something there, but for Edmonton, it's always the same old song and dance. But I want to see, honestly, someone in that second portion. We saw it from Tomasek. We saw it a little bit from Isaac Howard. And how does Nazem Kadri not draw a penalty there?
Yeah, John, that's pretty much textbook interference at the blue line. That was Nurse checking Kadri with the puck nowhere near. Really should have been an easy whistle and a man advantage for the Flames, but a non-call and a rare occurrence here as the Flames actually win an ozone face-off. And with 3:30 to go, they have a momentary possession in the offensive side of things, but they'll have to follow that bouncing puck out to neutralize and try to knock it back in. The Oilers have other ideas. They'll take it across that center red line and send it down to Wolf. Wolf tells it forward. Really nice forecheck there. Couldn't get a number, but streaking in with the Oilers. Bouchard and his pairing is back out. The Flames trying to gather it in the near corner. Down low is Ball. Now it bounces out in front of Wolf. 3 minutes to play here. 3-3. Oilers and Flames in this Battle of Alberta to start the new NHL season. Flames are going to carry out on the stick of Ball. He finds Coleman, who backs into the ozone. He skates in, but unfortunately leaves the puck in the neutral side. The whistles will blow, and it will be face-off time.
Holy cow, that previous play there from McDavid and Draisaitl, wide open on the doorstep. I think that just missed Wolf. Otherwise, the Oilers would have had a go-ahead with 2:48 in the third.
Yeah, I've seen some slow-mo replays here. I do think that's a save. That's off the shoulder, the right shoulder of Wolf, John. But you're right. It looked like it maybe hit the post. But Wolf, boy, just beautiful movement and positioning. That could have been the game winner right there.
That was set up again of a no-look. It seems like every time we talk about McDavid and effortless, every single one of his passes, I'm convinced, are no-look. The defense just has to hope to track him. That's all they can do.
Yeah, and yet another instance here, John. I know I'm a couple moments ahead of you, but Michael Backlund gets whistled out of the faceoff dot, and Connor Zary promptly loses the faceoff in the neutral zone. So inside 3 minutes to play here, we got ourselves a grand game to start this season. John, we're spoiled here. We get another classic. I was thinking back to when the Flames dominated Colorado a couple seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a different one. They battled back. They certainly haven't dominated. They're just trying to find a way to get a lead. And in regulation, they only have 2:22 to do it. So we may be looking at overtime. Do we have a shootout in the cards tonight? We will see. 2:15 to play. Oilers are going to carry in, but the puck trickles all the way to Wolf. Wolf's going to try to clear the zone himself. It gets to the blue line. The Oilers hold it in. Nice job by Bouchard. Step around. Coronato. He holds. He looks. He's got a man back at the point. He will take it all the way to the point himself. Cross-ice, angle, 45-degree pass. That one's connected. Slapper from Bouchard, loose in front. And going down, there are multiple players, but still loose. Multiple shots. Is it behind Wolf? He looks behind. No, it's in the trapezoid. 1:45 to play. Oilers knocking on the door, and they're knocking loudly. There's the slapper from way outside. It's a skate. Rasmus Andersson is tripped. It's a penalty. Frederick will go to the box. Sean, man advantage coming with 1:37 to go.
And the pendulum is swinging there. You got all sorts of traffic on the front. Probably got blocked a couple times, but Wolf able to slide post to post and then eloquently call it from full sail. Man, your heart had to be in your throat.
That was a tough one to stay focused on, John. And Wolf, again, these replays, incredible sliding, digging the blade of the skate into the ice, pressing, using the quads, he's sliding across left to right. And Andersson just gets dropped. Easiest call right there. The Kadri penalty was missed. No way that one could have been missed.
Yeah.
Right in the slot, Frederick drops Rasmus Andersson, and he will drop himself onto the bench in the box. And the 1 for 3 tonight of the Flames. John, can they make it 2 for 4?
Yes, they're going to do it right now.
Offensive zone draw is 1. The power play is underway now. Weegar sends it to Coronato. Coronato tries to snap one in. He said, looking out for him. Keep an eye on him. But the shot is off a body. It's cleared. And Wolf will collect. So this penalty, should we go to overtime, John, this penalty would carry over into the overtime minutes. 1:35 on the power play clock, 1:11 on the third period clock. Flames have it. They're at the near half boards. It's Farabee. Farabee goes to Weegar.
Weegar stays with his half boards to Frost. Frost trying to cross it in. Backhand glove save. Looking to the sky is Coronato. That's the man we said to look out for. He nearly put his team ahead with 60 seconds left in regulation. I don't know if he got all of it, John, but he had a great look.
It was. He was right up in the middle of the slot. He had to go on his backhand. Unfortunately, there was no other space. And Stuart Skinner, I will give him a nod to him. At least he made that save calmly because you kind of had Kulak screening him.
Yeah, he did. And I should say, not Kulak, but Skinner, almost automatic with the placement of the glove there.
Yeah.
You sort of, as a goaltender, placing that trapper just on the top of the pad so you don't leave any gaps. And that is the fundamental. That is what resulted in the save, and that's why we're still tied. And now we have a timeout. Flames trying to strategize here, John.
Do you like this timeout here from Huska openly? Because it also gives more time for McDavid and Draisaitl to rest.
You know, there's one thing that it tells me here is that Huska is confident that the players that he's going to send out are going to get the job done. I think you were confident in that moment, and maybe you channeled what Huska and his colleagues are thinking right here. I like it. I think it's Huska saying, we're going toe-to-toe with you. I don't care if you get a deep breath. We're going to beat you. It's almost like going for a 2 after you tie a game.
Yeah.
Or you get within 1 in football. Instead of kicking the extra point, just go for it. But hey, the benefit here is that these teams are tied.
Yeah, I like that analogy there. And again, what do you hope for, at least for the power play, even if it carries over, that it would at least keep Edmonton at that same scoreline and take a point in the standings. Never too early to think about that in Game 1 of 82.
You are right. And so we are back underway here. A bit of a messy face-off. I think it was technically lost by Frost. It bounced around off of multiple players from multiple teams, but ultimately was cleared by Edmonton. Now, coming back in is Frost. We have 36 seconds to go and still just under a minute on this power play. Oilers will get possession here. They're going to skate it to neutral ice. Flames having trouble getting numbers back. There's a shorthanded chance right there. It's less than 25 seconds to go in the third. Flames looked gassed right there. We're somehow able to really race back and prevent too dangerous a chance. But John, with 16.6 on the third period clock and 39 on the power play, the Flames, who are up a man, ice it.
Oh, no. That's not what you want, because you have Draisaitl the other way toward the right post with McDavid. We just talked about the timeout, and it seemed like Edmonton got energized from that.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I think that your concern about the timing of the timeout was right. You may have been right on. And there is an ozone win by the Oilers. I think they are looking to get the winner here, as there's a shot just missed for the Flames. For some reason, looking lethargic here. Not sure what's going on. Could just be fatigue, but they almost gave up the winner. 1 second left on the clock, and now it's zeros. I got to say it, John. Flames lucky to get into overtime. Nugent-Hopkins wired one just past the right post.
He was wide open, Cooper, near the right side dot. I don't know what happened in that last 40 seconds. You can flush it. I'll take the majority of that back half after the period and a half where the Flames played great, but that was a bullet dodge big time.
Big time. And John, I got to say, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that happen.
No.
Not only at 5-on-5, this is a team, the Flames team, and on a man advantage. They looked like, I'm not sure if that was a conditioning issue. I've never had to bring that up. As a fan or a broadcaster, it looked like they were playing in slow motion, John. That was wild.
Yeah, that was completely falling in quicksand. That was the thought process that I had going into it, and there really was no reason for that, to be honest. You just called the timeout. They gave your top unit some rest, and then the puck went completely the other way. They just lost their legs.
Yeah, very strange. Listen, I don't want to oversell it. I don't want to be disparaging of the Flames. I mean, obviously they're on the power play. They're trying to do their job and get it done. But I'm not sure if I don't think it was emotional. I don't think they felt dejected after the play. They called the timeout not working. But it almost looked like they assumed that the Oilers would just sort of ride out the clock and play for overtime. But the Oilers were trying to win that thing.
Yeah, right. That's exactly the thought process I got too. I think you called that right. I would at least say for the opening part of this 4-on-3, before we go to 4-on-4, and then once we get a stoppage, go to 3-on-3. I would think for Chris Knobloch that you're not starting with McDavid and Draisaitl because they're already out there.
Yeah, looks like we got Coronato, Kadri, Frost, and Weegar, and then Nugent-Hopkins, Nurse, and Ekholm for the Oilers. So we will have, I think it's about 16 seconds or so of power play time. We'll get that officially for you in a second. John, if you want to, would you like to take this 5-minute overtime period?
Yeah, I could take the OT, but you take the shootout because you're going to be ahead of me anyway.
Okay, you got, so it's 22 seconds of power play time, and now John's on the play-by-play.
All right, so all 5 if we need it for this OT. We'll see how aggressive the Flames are going to be. Probably should be here as MacKenzie Weegar. Now to the right side bumper, here's Kadri. He walks in the left side. That's not good. Save for Skinner to the right post. Job's not done, though. Kadri fake the slap shot. Walks middle of the circles, takes a pass, and Frost lets it go, as that one was saved by the glove of Skinner. Now to the right side boards. Oilers return to full strength 4-on-4. Here's a wrister that sailed high above the netting for Coronato.
Wow, John, Kadri had a good look. He gets his own shot back, and he finds Frost down below the one-timer just off the left bicep of Skinner. Another inch higher, that's probably your overtime winner.
It's about as close as it gets there, and a good pass and layoff on the other side for Coronato because he had a couple of shot blockers just committing in the middle of the slot with Nurse. And then, as we said, to go back to 3-on-3, 97-29. So you got to be careful. Flames do win this draw, but it was off the tie-up. Rasmus Andersson's got to play it in deep, and then here we go. Being an opportunity now with the back pass from Draisaitl. McDavid has some trouble with it for a moment, but it only takes him 0.25 seconds to turn on the burners. Here he is. McDavid off the pirouette, leaves, wrister, good save. Wolf just gets a piece of it with the left pad. McDavid back with it now, rides the blue line. Wait to see when he wants to explode and use those wheels. Now spin around for Draisaitl, got Bouchard with him. McDavid, leave for him. McDavid, step in, shot, he partially fanned on it, and Wolf will hold. 3:54 left, should we need it.
Man, oh man, John, Connor McDavid, he uses his body so well. It's not just the skating. It's not just the finesse skill. He knows how to seal off a defender. He knows how to create space not only for himself, but for trailing teammates, for teammates to the side, toward the sideboard. I mean, anywhere he wants to go with that puck, it seems like he has a green light, and he creates that green light for himself. But we're going to have a face-off to the left. Dustin Wolf here, still 3-3 and 3:54 to go in overtime.
Be a good time to win a D-zone draw, but is Kadri going to get kicked out of the circle again, or is he just going to talk with Coronato? Okay, he goes back in there. You need number 91 on this. You got RNH the other way. Kadri does win it. It's contested, and now the Flames will get this one out. Nazem off the one-on-one. It's Darnell Nurse on the back skate. Love to see Nazem do some heroics here. You know, he's always capable of it. He's sent back here for the defensive side, and now Nazem will send this one back in his own end and start again. We got 3-on-3, and then unless we go to a shootout here for another 3:30, but we need it all. Coronato back to Nazem, bump for Weegar. 91 back with it. MacKenzie tenuously goes up front. Now a drop for MacKenzie. He holds on his forehand. He'll spin and turn as one of the forwards takes a change. Here's Coronato. Flames want to be smart with the puck possession here. They'll get some fresh legs. It's Rasmus Andersson. He eyes it there for Kadri so he can get off and get some fresh legs as well. 3 minutes left in the OT. 31-21 on the shot board. Backhanded move. Drive for Frost. This will be sent the other way. Off the drop pass. Rasmus Andersson couldn't find it. As this will go back now for Darnell Nurse, unbelievably, who keeps his eyes open. Sent back in behind the inboards. Edmonton does have it toward the right side dot. Opportunity here for Leon Draisaitl. Off the leave. Bouchard wants to walk in. Here's a pass that bounces off the back skate of Morgan Frost. He's got to be gassed here. Evan Bouchard now. He'll step through. He could walk right in. And he gets hooked a little bit by Frost. Maybe he lost it. No hand in the air. Here's McDavid. Full spin. And between the circles now on his backhand. And he holds the blue line side. Draisaitl backhand save. Paddled down by Wolf. As this will be sent the other way. So dangerous are the Edmonton Oilers. Long flip the other way. Should be at the icing. Stuart Skinner didn't get the full sail on it. Connor McDavid on his off wing. Draisaitl rocking it across the left. Bouchard off the leave. This one turned over. Flames probably on the edge of it. It's a one-on-one. Last man back Bouchard, and the shot gets sailed wide as we press on. McDavid looks like he's still got all the energy in the world as Connor Zary. Now we'll pick this one off the wall toward the left side red line. Weegar, his backhand shovel. He coughs it up. Weegar now trying to fight off McDavid, and there is a penalty hand in the air.
I am speechless, John. That is, Weegar is incensed, by the way. I think Weegar may have been tossed here. He was going to the box. He is now going to the room. He very slams his stick into the glass. He was screaming unequivocally, F you to the referees. And I apologize, but that is exactly what he was saying.
Oh, boy.
Weegar getting called here. And man, oh man, the Oilers have had the majority of the chances, but my goodness, MacKenzie Weegar gets whistled. I'm not sure there's a penalty there. He certainly didn't think so.
He smashed his stick, broke it in half. He was demonstrative. We get these looks the other way. I want to see it now. Matvei Gradin was the one that just missed it. If he would have scored his second goal, you're already going to talk about that. And that was an offhand shove for McDavid. I didn't see anything that MacKenzie Weegar did there.
Oh, that's a 50-50 play, John. I think that's makes me think of the kind of the Michael Jordan whistles
Yes.
from way back when in the NBA. I mean, that's a McDavid call. And I'm not saying that McDavid, he wasn't really even asking for it in the midst of play. Oh, Weegar slammed his stick into the glass before he went toward the penalty boxes, then started dropping the F-bombs to the referees, then slammed his stick into the glass behind his own player bench. I think he is right to be furious. That is I don't often go right to this, but that's a terrible call. That is two top-tier players going at one another, one-on-one. The call is holding, and I saw absolutely no holding. I saw two players fighting for a loose puck.
Absolutely not. And I would hope at least for any sort of department stuff or any kind of fines, I hope MacKenzie Weegar gets absolutely zero put to that, and I hope that he's playing in tomorrow's game because that is not a great call by the Zebras.
Well, John, we talked a lot about a shootout, and that is what the Flames are now playing for. You have to think effectively being down 4-3 or a man with the Oilers with 4, Flames with 3. I'm going to let you take this play-by-play, but this power play will last for the remainder of the overtime.
Yeah, and 89 seconds is going to be an eternity here, especially now. And then you got MacKenzie Weegar, who's the best defenseman on the Flames, who's not even going to be in for the rest of it either. So here we go. Connor McDavid in from his own end, and I'm just dreading what I think I might have to call. McDavid, here's a pass for Bouchard. Wide open, does not shoot between the dots. He leaves it now for 97. Give back to Evan Bouchard. Triangle here for the Flames. One more pass for Draisaitl. This looks like a practice as this goes the other way now. Too wide and off the end boards from Draisaitl off the miss. Now McDavid, easy recollect, but he threw it right to the Flames, who just mercifully get it back to Skinner. Got to quickly get some changes. 45 seconds left to kill in the OT. They're going to have to do all of it here with the Edmonton power play. They've already scored twice. McDavid off the sauce. Here's Draisaitl, blue line side, Bouchard. McDavid, he could shoot it. He passes instead. Wolf makes the save. It's brushed in the corner by Rasmus Andersson. The only thing he needs to do to get it out, he doesn't. Here's Bouchard. He shoots the wrister. This one deflected out of the air, and we will press on with 22.9.
Wow, John. Wolf making some huge stops. These players out there, including Kirkland, again with that number 23, he makes a big shot block with the shaft of the stick. 22.9, as you said. This power play will continue through the buzzer if we should get there. 3-3, these two teams locked up.
Yeah, it was. And Tomasek getting some big time here in this OT. That's got to be good for the young man. Him and Howard at points have been pretty good. Now we'll see if we can get another face-off here for Kirkland. And I think we might have set a record for false starts on draws.
Yeah, I think so too. And we're looking as we tick down now, at least on my side, toward the end of overtime. The Oilers in control.
McDavid, and off the draw now as this one's picked up, not cleared out. Here's Bouchard toward the right side dot. 14 seconds left. Bouchard walks in, shoots, great save, Wolf. As this goes toward the left side post, down to 8. Draisaitl now. Down to 5. Here's McDavid. Doesn't shoot. Beautiful stop by Wolf with the left pad of the full stretch. And gonna run out of time. We'll go to a shootout. Unbelievable.
Connor McDavid is incredulous. He cannot believe that Dustin Wolf just did what he did. That is a full night. We talked Olympics all night. He looks like a gymnast out there. That is a full split. Dustin Wolf with the right skate blade keeps this game tied as the clock is expiring. Unbelievable. Bouchard had it dialed.
You talk about some of these big goalies, these 6'5", 6'6" nowadays. You give me the 5'10" athleticism of Dustin Wolf. That's a left skate toe save.
You know that MacKenzie Weegar's jumping up and down the
Yes.
room, screaming for his goaltender. I'm going to say it for the Flames, and they know this. That's why they made the move they did. Dustin Wolf is that guy. That is an incredible sequence. You're talking 4-on-3. This is your first game of the season. You're setting the tone for your entire campaign in a new NHL season. Man, this is going to be fun to watch if you're a Flames fan.
Yeah, and then we also get the shootout now. Incredulous in between McDavid and Draisaitl and Dustin Wolf against Skinner. So we've got the full bore. We've had all sorts of emotions here. Let's close it out with a big 2 points.
Yeah, and Wolf taking a page out of the Flowers book here. He's giving a little love to the posts before he gets started in the shootout. I was having a quick discussion with one of the referees. Doesn't look to be anger, just trying to get some answers potentially. And you know who's out there wearing blue and orange. It's number 97, John. He's going to try to set the tone right away.
Yep, not too often that he mishandles the puck. We'll see if he'll go for a straight shot. Doesn't need to do too much. Dustin Wolf usually dialed in. Let's go.
All right, McDavid picks this puck up the center, moves toward the near boards. He's on his forehand. Wolf stands up tall. Now McDavid stick handles, goes forehand. He is stopped by the blocker of Dustin Wolf. McDavid denied.
That is absolutely huge to start this game. Not too much of overhandling of the stick there. He just ran out of room. Good save.
Man, oh man, you called it. He's going to keep it simple. He puts it on his forehand. The Wolf does not bite on the backhand. And it will be none other than Kirkland's signature.
Yes, sir.
23 on his back. He will come onto the forehand. The left-handed shooter goes to that near boards on the left side. He's going to scoop this puck and fire, and he is denied as well. Skinner says, no, I've seen that before. Sit it down.
Yeah, Justin Kirkland's played that movie a few too many times, and you have that scouting tape all over the place.
Yeah, and that one not elevated, I think, the way that Kirkland wanted to, trying to go over the left pad, unable to do so. Skinner, just like Wolf, not phased. So it's 0 for 1 for the Flames, 0 for 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. And here we go. It's going to be Leon Draisaitl. He's going to come in from the left side. He's on his forehand here. He deeps, he fires, he scores. He went backhand, forehand, and he would not be stopped this time. The big German makes it 1 for the home team.
That is a beautiful move. Dustin Wolf tried to guess right. Draisaitl goes left. He had him in a spin cycle when he finished off the wrister.
Yep, only saving grace here does not stop that puck from going in. But boy, Wolf even got the fact that he even got close there is impressive.
Yep.
Now, John, you've said this name a few times tonight. He's wearing 16 in red numerals on his sweater. It's Frosty. Get Frosty, the ice cold here. He almost completely stops, and he fires and scores. The forehand from the slot is good.
When I ask for someone to be clutch, I think the shootout does indeed count. He almost comes to a full stop. He messes with Skinner's mind, banks it off the right side post and in. That's gorgeous.
Oh, just spraying snow right there. And then he thinks, okay, you know what? My buddy couldn't elevate above that left pad. Guess what? I'm going to do it. He showed me the way. I'm just going to lift it up a little higher. That's what he did. He found Twine. Now, RNH, who scored the first goal of the night, can he put one in right here? He fires it and will not score. He is stopped by Wolf. Not a lot going on there in terms of creativity. And Wolf now, he has stopped 2 of 3.
RNH between the circles. I mean, he just sold out a full shot. Dustin Wolf never had to move, Cooper.
Didn't have to do too much. Another blocker save. And my goodness, the man who a lot of Flames fans thought wouldn't even be wearing the Flaming C this year, Rasmus Andersson, the offensive defenseman out of Sweden, wearing the single digit on his back, number 4. Can he put in another shootout goal? No, he cannot. Squeezing the pads.
trying to go 5-hole with Andersson, and he was not successful. We'll keep it rolling.
A little bit of an interesting swing of the dice there for Ryan Huska as it closes out the 5-hole. I got to believe that Nazem Kadri is next in round 4, right?
I would think so, but who's up next for the Oilers? That's what I want to see, and we are going to see none other than your rookie, David Tomasek. The right-handed shot comes streaking in, slows down, backhand save. Wolf is working that blocker, and Tomasek, he gets trusted by his coach, but he cannot come through.
Well, if you're going to go to Tomasek here in round 4, as he was closed off the left post on that backhand, if we get to round 5, that makes me believe that you're going to see the Isaac Howard show.
Yeah, you might. And guess who it is? 27, Coronato. A huge run-up onto this puck. Picks it up from center ice. Starts from the left. Comes back right. He's on the forehand. He shoots, and he is stopped. That one, I think, off the tip of the glove. Coronato maybe trying to do a little too much, putting it toward the post. But he will not score, and we keep it moving, John.
That's the thing for me for Coronato. He's got such a good shot, and his velocity is top-notch. If he really just sticks with that, he probably snipes the top corner against Skinner.
Yes, and we got the replay. That goes off the post. So he beat Skinner, but not the frame. And now it is Howard. Howard, another rookie, is stopped by Wolf. So the youngsters going toe-to-toe. Tomasek first, Howard second. Wolf says, go back.
I don't mean to call anything to existence. He's going to run out of room, and Wolf played that well. But I kind of like it for Chris Knobloch letting these rookies go because, honestly, they played well today.
Well, you want to talk about rookies, John, and guess what? We're going to talk about that big Redeem.
Oh, boy.
Got 92. He's got the left-hand shot. He's got the puck. He's got the chance to win it. And he tries to go simple, maybe a little too basic. Skinner stops him.
Looking at Gradin's moves now in real time, and yeah, all it is the close of the 5-hole. Nothing much for Skinner to have to do. Where is 91?
It's a great question. We're going to see Matty Savoie. So the Frenchman, he's going to come in on that right-hand shot. Can Wolf stop another? Yes, indeed, he can. He made it look easy. He gets down low, and Savoie goes down to the ice, I should say, and that is the stop of the left pad. Boy, no one can get the finisher here, John.
Now, Dustin Wolf just turns everybody back. You shall not pass.
Interesting. I don't think Savoie saw it, but the 5-hole was wide open there. If he would have tucked that one under instead of trying to wrap around, it could be it could be a victory for Edmonton. Now, here comes Sharon Govich. She was on the 4th line tonight. Left-handed shooter comes in. Can he be the hero? Sharon Govich off the iron. The post to the right of Skinner. That's 2 posts for the Flames. The close-up of that red metal bar. The only reason that this shootout is going to round 7.
Yeah, that one was absolutely clean. Skinner was beat dead to rights, and a good camera call for Sportsnet. You could see the black on the side of the paint or the middle of the left post. He got lucky.
A defender for the Edmonton Oilers is going to be up there. It's Bouchard. He takes a page out of Gradin's book, tries to go simple. Didn't mean to cut you off, sir. But that was Bouchard in the midst of his shot. He wanted to take it right away. Maybe a little bit underwhelming on that effort as Wolf deflects it away with his trapper.
And Dustin Wolf's going to get tired if he keeps doing stuff like that. That's easy.
Yep. All right. So here comes Connor Zary, 3rd line left winger. He's going to stay on that forehand all the way down to the half boards. Now he circles back, high slot, thinks it goes 5-hole. No, get a little too much. John Skinner paddles it away.
Connor Zary is one of those guys we've seen him score some beautiful goals, and he put himself into a turnstile, ran out of room.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that you've seen a couple of guys here who are both, it's oscillating between overthinking and underthinking. And I think that was an example of over. And now, John, we're going to have Kasperi Kapanen. So here comes Kapanen. You said it before, the former Pittsburgh Penguin shoots. Did he score? Or was that off the crossbar? Wolf kisses the crossbar. It stayed out.
I get a chance to see this now in real time off the drive up, toward the top left of the post. Barely. He does give the kiss. Wow.
Unreal, John. A quarter of an inch lower, that deflects into the net, and we're done. But Edmonton misses in round 8. The Flames finally send out number 91, the veteran, Nazem Kadri. He deeks, he shoots, and he ends it. John was waiting for number 91.
Yes.
And the Battle of Alberta goes to the Calgary Flames.
Nazem Kadri says sometimes you got to pay the dogs. What a backhand move and celebration. That's sick from 91. I love it. What a game.
This was a one to remember, John. Absolutely incredible play throughout. And Kadri points to his left elbow, ice in the veins.
Yes.
John, you are a magic man. You spoke it into existence. You were waiting for 91. We've been a long time. 8 rounds, and Kadri gets it done.
Wherever you place Kadri in the history, I just want to give him his flowers for a minute. He got that Stanley Cup, which we elegantly call between the Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche in 22. I mean, that's a silky backhand. Goodnight Skinner falls down too early. You knew he's the guy. The kids like to say he is him. I don't care what you say about the Flames, where they are in terms of their franchise. Yes, they love having 91, and he's going to be here until he doesn't want to anymore. He might retire as a Flame.
I would be fine with that, especially when you see that kind of skill. And the celebration tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
That man cares.
Yes.
That man is a leader. You were waiting for the leader to be given the responsibility. John, guess what? When he got it, he delivered. And how about Dustin Walsh? This guy, you know what? He is the guy. He is an incredible talent. And talking about retiring as a Flame, I certainly hope we can say that about him as well.
I said the same thing to you about Wolf last year about a Stanley Cup champion goaltender. He's the type of guy that can be exactly that, and we know that. What did we punch a few times in that third, Cooper? All it's going to take in that third period, you give Wolf an opportunity to make some save. The first 40 minutes are not on him. All of those between the back pass from Tomasek to Draisaitl and some of those chances, he could never save. If there was 3 of them in the net, he wouldn't have been able to stop that. But he kept his team afloat in the third. He was masterful in the shootout. He was masterful in the OT. And the Flames, 4 unanswered, take 2 points from the Oilers. Now they get a back-to-back tomorrow at Vancouver, but they feel pretty good. We always find a way to get some instant classics and have fun. And how about it on night 1? That was terrific.
Terrific is the right word. I'm not even going to try to find another one because that was terrific. Because some of the time I felt terrified about what we were seeing, and then the other times I felt, okay, this is fantastic. So put them together, terrific. That's what we got, John. You nailed it. You found the right word in that thesaurus, and boy, Kadri found the right move in his bag of tricks. My goodness, how about Blake Coleman with the tying goal on a mistake from Stuart Skinner, the veteran, the wily veteran, right place, right time, right decision. Kadri finally sent out right place, right time, right move, right result. If you love the Calgary Flames, and it's a good night for the good guys, and the Oilers go down. 1 win in the bank already for Calgary. They're at 1,000 on the year, so we can expect expect no losses, right, for them this year, John.
Yeah, because between the first 10 games of the season, a lot of times when we cover this, the Flames always get off to a hot start, and then you find some of those games, and hey, I'll say this honestly, in this game 1 of 82, you're down 3-0. You could easily put your tail between your legs and lose your 2 points, and nobody would probably say anything because it's so early in the year. But when you find a way to win games like this, how many times have you told me the games in October matter just as much as they do in March? That's a big 2 points for Calgary.
You know it. And the last thing I'll say, we could give almost any one of these players a shout out. We could talk about the Mangiapane goal. We could talk about RNH, who's been a staple with the Oilers for so many years. But you know what? How about the youngsters for Edmonton? Both Tomasek and Howard not only making an impact, but trusted in the shootout. Did they deliver? No. But listen, that's your first crack at a National Hockey League shootout. You're going against Dustin Wolf, who's already proving himself. I do think that we're going to see a real trajectory from him into the upper echelon, probably upper maybe 8 to 10 goaltenders in the league as individuals. And also Radin on the Flames side. He's trusted as well. Doesn't shoot his shot probably in the way that he wanted to, but we're focusing on the positives. That kind of trust. He was a goal scorer, by the way. Knowing that your first goal went in the NHL, but just by effort, right? Hey, it wasn't a snipe.
Right.
But that's what happens. Good things happen when you put the puck into the center. You're looking for a teammate. You're looking to be aggressive. That's going to stick with him for a long time, and I'm excited to watch these players.
Well, this was a very fun game. It's going to be very hard to talk considering we just started the NHL season, but I'm looking forward to many broadcasts. Hopefully we can get to the Red Wings and Flames at some point too, and we'll continue moving along, man. It's been a lot of fun to get back together again, and hopefully I was able to help hold us afloat because I know I made a couple flubs too. I was just excited.
No, listen, my excitement, there's still, I think it's good. It's like we're not too jaded, right? We still got our deep in our hearts, we're still fans, even though we do our best to be professional and we handle it like a broadcaster would. We care deep down. There's an outcome that we want deep down, and of course, I was so fixated on I think our second intermission, John. I'll let you go after this. I was thinking about the potential of the Wings and the Flames facing each other again in the playoffs, and my old brain is thinking that they're still in the same conference. You have to gently correct me and say, yes, if they were to face each other in the playoffs, Cooper, that would indeed be the Stanley Cup Finals. So thank you for always being kind, good friend.
I'm going to look forward to many more of these and keep me updated on your adventures and all things broadcasting, because whenever you get that lead side and I can watch it on ESPN Plus, please message me because I'm watching it.
I will. I'll give you probably an update in the next 3 or 4 days or so. I should have information. I'm thinking it's better than a 50% chance I may be making my ESPN Plus debut for Cal State Northridge, not far from where Jen and I live, doing a men's soccer game on ESPN Plus side for them. So I'll keep you posted. Keep your fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Good luck to you, my friend, and we'll do this again soon.
All right, pal. It was a great one we won't forget. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Well. Just make sure that this doesn't hold this for a minute and see if it. Oh, we should be good to go. Excellent. All right, that's your final 4-3 Flames win in OT. Hope you guys had some fun. Peace.